almost every snap of the year. Sophomore Romaro Miller broke his collarbone on the last play last week against Georgia. His replacement is facing the biggest night of his life. More on him, Dr. Jerry Punches with the coach of the Old Reds.
Thanks, Michael. Well, Coach, in just a minute, you're going to send a 19-year-old true freshman walk-on quarterback with less than a dozen snaps in his collegiate career out to face your arch rival on national TV. How was the young man handled today, particularly the last hour up the kickoff?
Well, he's done fine. He's going to be awfully nervous. We're getting ready to receive the ball. I don't know who won the toss, but I'm sure he'll be ready to go. We're going to keep it relatively simple early. We're going to have to open the offense up no matter what happens, because we can't win unless we do everything we know what to do.
Hey, Coach, best of luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, the M on these hats may stand for Mississippi, but it could just as easily mean magical or memorable. A description of Tommy Tuberville's 4 years here. And, guys, if David Morris pulls it off tonight, you could add the word miracle to that list. It'd be a memorable night here for the Ole Miss alumni Thanksgiving evening.
Ain't that the truth, Doc? Jackie Sherrills on the other side. His 21st year, he's on his way to his 12th bowl in his 8 years here. No stranger to Turkey Day. Remember, he was involved in many of the Texas A&M Thanksgiving night games. Perfect night. It's about 54, 53 degrees. Had a great, mild Thanksgiving afternoon here in Oxford. These people are so ready for this game. Mississippi State won the toss, deferred to the second half. That's why Ole Miss is ready to receive. The Jeff Walker kickoff is a line drive one-hopper past Maurice Flournoy, who picks it up at the 4. Flournoy down to the 14. Well covered by Pick Prather, the freshman running back for Mississippi State. Now the Zales. Starting lineup for Ole Miss. There's the young quarterback, Morris. To help him in the backfield, Deuce McAllister, who really needs a good game. See, McAllister is 95 yards away, becoming the second Ole Miss back to crack the 1,000-yard mark. For the receiving corps, Rufus French, first-team All-America, announced today. Watch out, because Corey Peterson is shaken up with a shoulder injury out of the Ole Miss lineup. Gary Thigpen, or rather, check that, Matt Luke, the only senior starter on the offense, a gutsy, undersized performer in the pivot for Ole Miss. Opening drive starts from the 14. Oh, and a flea flicker for the freshman on the first play. Nearly caught for Greg Hurd, but a flag came down. Kendall Roberson on the coverage. How about that for getting the freshman going, huh?
Mike, I think it's a great call, because that shows the confidence the coaching staff has in David Morris on the first play. That sends a message to this entire football team that they're not going to play restricted football with a young quarterback tonight. David Morris with the handoff to Deuce McAllister. Pitch back to David Morris and trying to go downtown to Grant Hurd. Nice call.
15-yard penalty. So let's see. Flea flickers today in Thanksgiving games went, what, Randy Moss scored on his. Charlie Batch of the Lions got sacked. Morris gets the pass interference to the 15-yard. Into the air again. Incomplete. Looking for Tony Pinion, the running back. We owe you the Mississippi State defense. It's an odd alignment. 5 guys up front. Edward Smith, the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. 3 of his 11 sacks came against Arkansas. Lone linebacker, Larry Campbell. This is defensive, all 2 recent seniors, so they've been around the block a time or two. Back to the secondary. Now watch for the guys that Mississippi State calls their dogs. Nelson 17 and Cooper 1. When Ashley has played well, Mississippi State has played well this year. On 2nd and 10, finally a handoff. This is McAllister. Deuce gets a couple of yards. Kenwan Smith leading the charge defensively for Mississippi State.
Mike, we talked about David Morris. Now he has 14 snaps. He found out on the bus after the Georgia game. He said, I was in shock that I was going to be the starting quarterback. But the early play calling by Noel Mazzoni gives him a chance to relax, because he knows he's a big part of this game tonight. So I like the call, and I like the way they tried to settle David Morris down.
Noel in his 4th year as the offensive coordinator here at Ole Miss. 3rd and 7. 3 receivers sent in for Tommy Tuberville's team. Play clock running down. And they run with McAllister. McAllister, first down to midfield. Tim Nelson pulled him down. They moved the
situation where you lose your quarterback, everybody has to step up. And you look for your best players to make a giant impact in the football game. Deuce McAllister told us the other day when we talked to him, he said, I expect to carry the ball 10 or 15 more times in this game to take some heat off David Morris.
McAllister's averaged 17 carries per game this year. He has 172 coming in. Couple of first downs picked up. Rebels at midfield. Mississippi State wanted the false start. McAllister tries to turn the corner and does get a couple of yards out of it. They kept pointing, but no flag was thrown.
They were pointing at the left tackle to Reyes that he moved, and all the Mississippi State players were raising up to the official, and the ball was snapped.
Ole Miss is 6-4 this year. They sit right now in 4th in the SEC West. And again, to remind you the implications for Mississippi State, they lead the West. They win tonight. They play Tennessee in the championship game 9 days from now on ABC. On 2nd and 8 is McAllister again. Got the block from Stackhouse and should have a first down right close to the 40.
Mike, nice strategy by Ole Miss against the 8-man front. They're putting 2 tight ends to the short side of the field and then blocking down with both tight ends and pulling the guard and tackle, and the fullback is leading on the play, Stackhouse. And then Deuce McAllister just looking for a seam.
We'll measure here to see if McAllister got it just past the 40. And he did. That's a pretty good opening drive. But Jackie Sherrill's defense is not a bad defense. It's a good one. But here's Ole Miss, true freshman, walk-on quarterback. He probably couldn't be more nervous right now than at any point in his life, and things have settled in nicely.
He doesn't have time, though, to be nervous because he's such a big part of this game plan early with the trick play, and then he came right out and threw the ball on the next play, so he hasn't had time to really figure out where he's at here.
McAllister, right. And Ladouche gets up to the 35-yard line. Menifee and Smith ride him out of bounds.
Again, the 2 tight ends set into the short side of the field, trying to get the extra blocker for Deuce McAllister.
Looks like Deuce was ready to come take a blow on the sidelines. 5 carries, 37 yards.
That's one where if you're the coach, you look the other way. Just keep it staying there.
Big guy, 6'2", 215. On 2nd and 5, one more time. Cornell Menifee wrapped him up. It'll be 3rd and a couple. Deuce looks gassed. He's carried it 6 times in a row now.
Talked about when we visited with him the other day, he was devastated by the injury to quarterback Romero Miller, and he said he's going to do his part to pick up his game. Matt Luke, the center, Rufus French, they all talked about settling David Morris down in the huddle.
Tony Canyon has checked in the backfield for 3rd and 3. It's coming home. Great block by Stackhouse. Frees Canyon for the first down. A penalty marker is down. I think it's Mississippi State offside.
I agree, Mike. And again, good blocking by the right side of the offensive line.
Steve Landis, our SEC official tonight. Offside on a defense. Penalty flag. First down.
Anytime you play against a team that blitzes a lot out of the 8-man front, the right side of the offensive line is going to do a nice job here of blocking down, trying to pick up the stunts. But the key block was made again by Charles Stackhouse, the fullback. Picked up the linebacker.
From the 20. Couldn't hang on to the pitch. It was up high, and Canyon, I bet you Canyon and Morris have worked not that much together, even though they're both second team.
No, again, Mike, and again, it's just different once you go into the ball game. But I like the strategy of Ole Miss, and Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator, is going to have to figure a way to short side of the football field to get an extra man in his 8-man front because they're lining up Ole Miss with 2 tight ends running in the short side of the field. Jolie without a headset on.
Nothing newfangled needed. Well, Izoni's quarterback leading a drive that's now placed in. Out of the gun. Morris lets go. Incomplete. There was a lot of bumping with Hurd, but they say uncatchable as Kendall Roberson denied his pass.
Mike, only one receiver out on the play, and that's, again, trying to help your quarterback. Make sure he doesn't get sacked early in this ball game, so you only have one receiver. It's Grant Hurd, who's going to run a corner route against Kendall Roberson.
Ooh, I don't know about uncatchable. He impeded his path. I understand the DB has a right to the ball, but uncatchable because he got bumped. They picked up their first couple of third down opportunities on this drive. They need to get to the 10 for the first down. Incomplete, looking for Sheldon Marks. Fourth down.
Still a good drive by Ole Miss. Now David Morris trying to get the ball in the fade to Sheldon Morris. But a good job by Robert Bean, staying step for step and forcing that incompletion.
Although be forced to try a field goal here, which has not been the strength of this team. Carlisle McGee, who is 5 of 7 on his field goal attempt this year, will try a 40-yarder. On line, and good. Talk about some confidence for Ole Miss. David Morris, the walk-on, true freshman quarterback. How would he settle in? Settled in with a scoring drive.
This is how Dale Earnhardt Jr. fans will remember the 1998 NASCAR Busch Series champion. This is how his opponents will remember him. From alternators and wire sets to batteries and spark plugs, get the parts that power Dale Earnhardt Jr. AC Delco powers the winners.
We come here on a glorious quest, a search for that which can be found nowhere else. Where, in the trenches where mighty men clash, amidst the echoes of glories past, high atop Olympus. No, this is our quest. This is what football is all about. Now all I gotta do is fight that nacho guy.
I've asked Patty to show you how easy it is to use 1010-9000, the only number you need to get directory assistance anywhere in America. Watch. Patty just dials 1010-9000 and tells the operator whose number she wants.
Leslie Weller, Denver.
The operator finds the number, even offers to dial it with no connection charge.
No connection charge? Sure, dial it for me.
With 1010-9000, it's that easy. 1010-9000, directory assistance for everyone in America.
ESPN's presentation of Thursday Night Football is brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. And by Dr. Pepper Company and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
The University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. So Ole Miss means a little bit more now in terms of the old part. Just celebrated its sesquicentennial, 150th birthday, earlier this month. There is Romero Miller, the quarterback who's taken most every snap for this team this year. Injured on the final play, a Hail Mary against Georgia, driven into the ground, the shoulder injury. He is on the bench and really trying to be supportive for Morris. David did a nice job on the opening drop. That's Kevin Prentice. Fourth in the SEC in kickoff returns. An onside kick attempt by Ole Miss is recovered by Mississippi State. Well, they tried trickery, and George White was Johnny on the spot. Great field position for the Bulldogs at the Rebels 44.
You see some things in your tapes and your films that you try to take advantage of. You score. Feel like maybe Mississippi State's down a little bit from you driving the football field, but I think they touched the ball a little bit too soon. Mississippi State recovers. George White.
Great drive start for Mississippi State from the 44-yard line. James Johnson not in the backfield. It is Chris Rainey as the one back for first down. And Wayne Matkin rolls and goes to the air. Incomplete. Trying to get a pass back for Kevin Cooper. Take a moment here to check the Mississippi State starting offense. We start with Wayne Matkin, that redshirt freshman quarterback who took over in Game 4 of the season. He's 5-2 since. Receiving corps, Kevin Prentice, 5'8", fastest guy on the field, though. 7 catches against Arkansas. Kevin Cooper is a big factor at the split end as well. There's a big, huge offensive line. The left side, both over 320. Randy Thomas could be a first or second round pick in the National Football League draft. After no gain, it's 2nd and 10. It's 4 yards. He was knocked out of bounds by Kenny Woods up from the strong safety spot. Here is the Ole Miss defense. They only have 5 seniors on this entire team. Morris Scott is one of them. He's the last guy from the old regime before Tommy Tuberville took over. Linebackers, this is an Armicus Spearman kind of game. It's going to be in the middle between the tackles and a lot of hitting for the middle linebacker. Secondary, didn't shake it this year. Gary Thigpen, 3-year starter quarterback. Where's that number 38 in honor of the late Kentucky Ball? Out of the gun for 3rd and 6. 3 receivers. And Hackman's pass is incomplete. He was looking for Kelvin Love, the junior, but Timothy Strickland may have tipped it on the way in.
Mike, they didn't take advantage of the good field position after the onside kick. Timothy Strickland with the good coverage on Kelvin Love. Deflects the football and forces the punt. And no James Johnson for the first series for Mississippi State.
Line up in an odd setup, and they're going to run a play out of this on 4th and 6, perhaps. That's Matt Wyatt, who did punt a little bit last year, and has punted a little bit this year, so they tried to trick the refs, but it's something that was on the film. Mississippi State wise to it, or Mississippi wise to it, and it's a touchback. Mississippi State unable to get going on the opening drive. James Johnson awaits, the leading rusher in the SEC with his groin injury.
Oh, great one. How much time do I have left?
You have 15 minutes.
15 minutes? 15?
Maybe 20?
What? I can't take a bath in 20 minutes. What are you talking about?
Oh, times on tapes.
There is a better way to see how much time's left on your tapes. Sony Smart File. With one wave, it automatically tells you what's on your tapes. Plus, it fast-forwards to exact spots.
I'm getting another call. They just said 40 minutes for you. This is your lucky day, mister.
Sony Smart File VCRs. Now you know.
Want to take your taste for great fast food in a different direction?
You ought to drive into Sonic,
where you can add chili to just about anything, from chili cheeseburgers to chili cheese fries. Or right now, get our Coney and Tots special, an extra-long cheese coney topped with chili and tangy cheddar cheese, plus a side of crispy tater tots for a special low price at Sonic, where the spice of life is right at your fingertips.
Hi, welcome to Sonic.
Drive in for a change this month and get our cheddar peppers for just 99 cents.
D. Martin and the versatile ball, charging up the hard-hitting D of the Commodores. Tennessee versus Vanderbilt at 3:30, Saturday on ESPN2.
Ole Miss leading Mississippi State 3-0, and in the early going, with many things going against both teams, Ole Miss has been able to handle it a little bit better. In the opening drive for each team. You know, Mike, with David Morris being a true freshman and really green and really nervous, could it have been an advantage that they got the ball first and Deuce McAllister was able to carry some of the load?
Without a doubt, Mike. 7 carries, 51 yards for Deuce McAllister.
Looks like a timeout was called by Ole Miss. One of the wide receivers may have seen something going on here on the opening drive, or the opening play of this drive, and that's in fact what happened.
That was Ole Miss's first timeout of this half.
So as they take a timeout, let's take a moment to check in with Dr. Jerry Punt.
Well, guys, after the initial possession, offensive possession by Ole Miss, Romaro Miller went up to David Morris on the sideline and said, young man, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're giving the receivers a chance to catch the football. You put it right where they can get to it. And if you keep doing that, eventually it's their job to come down with the football. He says, how do you feel in the pocket? And David said, how do I look in the pocket? And Romaro said, well, you look very comfortable. He said, that's exactly how I feel. It's amazing how comfortable I am out here in the first possession. Romaro said, it's our night. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Jerry, was interesting yesterday when we talked to David Morris, and right beside him was Romaro Miller, and every time we asked David a question, he'd look at Romaro to give the answer. It's almost like he's been used to that. He's the second-team quarterback in practice and never been asked questions, and all of a sudden he wanted to get the okay of Romaro just exactly how to answer the question.
And the story of how David Morris became the backup is really interesting. He went to walk on here and kind of came out, walked out to practice and said, hi, how you doing? Here's my deal in life. And they said, well, we're going to have to look at some film of him. And after looking at some film, the offensive coordinator said, well, we can get this guy into fall camp early and let him take a shot. What happened? The man who's supposed to be the backup quarterback, a true freshman, got injured in the first scrimmage. And David Morris became the number 2 man. He's number 1 tonight and throws to Antoine Scott. And that is stuffed by Ashley Cooper.
Tackle by number 1, Ashley Cooper.
It'll be second down. Well, Tulane continues on, Mike. They lead by 26 on their way to closing out the perfect season. If you look at some other Thanksgiving Day scores in college football, we'll keep you updated. And Chris Lee and Kirk will have the highlights of that Tulane game coming up at halftime. Lost 3 going to Antoine Scott. Listed as a defensive tackle. We're seeing fullback action tonight. Morris nearly fell before the handoff, and McAllister was knocked down quickly by the Mississippi State defense. Credit the tackler, Larry Campbell.
Now you see the adjustments Joe Lee done, because when you've got a freshman quarterback on the other side, now you figure out the formations that Ole Miss is going to show Mississippi State. Center stepped on the foot of David Morris and caused him to go down just when he got the football to Deuce McAllister. There's the blitz. Edward Smith, number 2.
Joe Lee done, as Mike said, bringing them before the national anthem. 3rd and 13, and flags are down.
He brings them when the bus gets in town. He loves the blitz.
Of course, Joe Lee was the interim coach between Billy Brewer and Tommy Tuberville for 1 year here at Ole Miss. He's been over at State for 3 years.
Before the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
There's Joe Lee.
Yeah, Joe Lee Dunn, and when he was here at Ole Miss, this game means an awful lot to him, and he has a feeling for this school, but he wants to win this football game in the worst way. And you see, again, no headphones on, so everything he does is by himself. He's not looking for any help from up in the press box.
3rd and 18. They go out of the shotgun. You wonder if they'll be safe here with the young quarterback. Morris got to move. Has some speed, was a hurdler in high school. Is written out of bounds by Kevin Sluter.
Mike, that's exactly, you mentioned whether you're going to be safe or not with him, and they gave him a route on the outside. David Morris used good judgment again, not throwing the football and trying to get as much as he can scramble with the football. See him go right off the sideline. He's making sure of every move he makes. He's looking for approval tonight.
Shiro visit with Miller before too long. Here is Reagan King. That average is at the bottom of the SEC. Line drive, returnable kick, picked up by Kevin Prentice. who is tripped up at the 44-yard line. So for the second consecutive drive, Mississippi State has great field position. Well, college game day starts at 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. Then another rivalry, Virginia Tech. Mike, Ron, and Adrian will have that at noon on ESPN. On the Deuce, Tennessee, the SEC East champs, will look to close out their great season, a perfect season against Vandy. Then Michigan, Hawaii from the islands. That's our lineup on ESPN and the Deuce this weekend. James Johnson in the game at tailback. Second straight drive starting for the 44. And the leading rusher of the SEC gives just 2. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
James Johnson in pregame warm-ups trying to stretch out that pulled groin muscle. He told the coaches and doctors he was maybe 80% at best. They said, we're going to leave it up to you, JJ. Initially, he made the call not to play because it's gotten very cool here. The worst possible conditions for him to pull the groin. Now, if he would have pulled it more severely, like a teammate Eric Brown did last year, Brown ended up missing 6.5 weeks of competition. But JJ made the call to go in on this possession.
Just 6 carries in the Arkansas game last week. They found a way to win without him. They backed him to the air on 2nd and 8. Looking long. Poor catches out of bounds, but it will be first and goal for Mississippi State. They beat Timothy Strickland for 39 yards.
And the strength of this Mississippi State team is their offensive line, and they gave great protection for Wayne Matkin to give Kevin Prentice a chance to work against Timothy Strickland. Got him turned around, Mike, on the corner route. Ball laid out perfectly for him, but good pass protection by the offensive line of Mississippi State.
Well-run route as well by the 5'8" senior out of Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Mike, just the fact that James Johnson's on the field perks his football teammates up.
Powers set, toss to Johnson, flat down as he fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Ole Miss. But remember, a marker is down at the line of scrimmage. They're pointing as though it's against the home team, and it is.
James Johnson, who didn't work this week in practice.
On the defense, that's half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, he worked with the trainers just trying to cut. On Wednesday, he ran a few plays, fumbled that football into the end zone, but a good break for the Bulldogs because Ole Miss offside. But he raises the level of his teammates when he gets on the football field. They depend on James Johnson.
From the 2, they show the same formation. Johnson inside, and his legs taken out from under him by Tyler Williams, a junior out of Mays Landing, New Jersey, down here in Oxford, Mississippi.
Good penetration by Ole Miss. Number 92, Tyler Williams, gets up the football field.
That's the fumble from a play ago. Kendrick Clancy was big on the hit there, and Gary Thigpen came up with the recovery that is wiped away.
Just didn't look like he had great start coming out of the back to James Johnson.
Williamson in motion, the pitch to Johnson. Can he turn the corner? No. Stop at the line. Strong safety, Kenny Woods, third leading tackler, made the stick. He tried to keep smashing it down their throat. It's 3rd and goal.
Like Kenny Woods with a good play here, number 12. Trying to toss sweep. Everything's tough up inside. Get a nice block by Dennis McKinney. It just doesn't look like James Johnson can force it in and pound it in. So Ole Miss might be better off, or Mississippi State might be better off trying to throw the football here and giving it to the fullback.
3rd and goal for the Bulldogs. Johnson again. Touchdown. A 2-yard run gives Mississippi State the lead.
Mike, they just stayed with the toss sweep. James Johnson got better blocking on that play to get in the end zone.
Looks frustrated as he comes off as well. Brian Hazelwood on for the extra point. Misfired on 3 of his 29 attempts this year. Rob Morgan, backup quarterback, is his holder. Morgan did a nice job with the snap. It was partially blocked, but still gets through. The extra point is good. James Johnson doesn't look like he's 100%, but found the end zone for the 11th time as a running back this year. And the SEC's leading rusher, his presence and his power, puts the Bulldogs on top.
Hey, we work here in the ESPN, the magazine shipping department. We really love our jobs, especially these days because, well, we're sending out a free gift to all the new subscribers. There's no time to lose. Subscribers are waiting. We need to send out these official ESPN the Magazine sweatshirts ASAP.
Subscribe now to ESPN the Magazine and get your sports the way it ought to be. Big and bold with unbelievable photos, honest interviews, previews and predictions, the teams to beat and the players to watch.
Ralph, please shove the sweatshirt in the box.
Hey, you know, I've always loved this shade of blue.
Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. That's 66% off the newsstand price. And with your paid subscription, you'll get your very own ESPN the Magazine sweatshirt, absolutely free.
Wonder what lucky subscriber is going to get this one, huh?
No subscriber is going to get that one, Ralph, unless you put it in a box.
Call now, 1-800-498-9889.
Catch everything that happens in the NFL this weekend on ESPN. From our studio shows to ESPN Sunday Night Football, it's the NFL on ESPN. Sunday at 11, it's NFL Countdown. At 7:30, it's NFL Primetime. And at 8:15, it's ESPN Sunday Night Football. Denver at San Diego. Then, Monday at 6:30, it's Monday Night Countdown. The NFL is on ESPN.
Known as JJ, he adds to his career touchdown total, now 23. Third all-time at Mississippi State. A couple of yards out. Pounding that one in, and Mississippi State takes the lead. As this night goes on, the fortunes here for these teams in this rivalry game, but also the Arkansas faithful who are watching, hoping they'll have a chance when they play LSU tomorrow to stay alive in their hopes of getting to the SEC title game. A decision made to come out by Ken Lucas. He is popped to the 17 and put down by Jamal Dinkins, backup linebacker, on the coverage.
A bad decision, and especially when you have a young quarterback to take that kind of a chance. Not a good move.
You talk about the
Dinkins, number 44, coming down the field, making the play on special teams, deploys the block, and takes on the blocker, and he makes the tackle.
Right through that attempted block by Ronnie Lester. Nasty field position for Ole Miss tonight. We started at their own 14, their own 20. Now a drive start from their own 17. Deuce McAllister. Effective on the first drive, not effective the last 4 plays. The lone linebacker that starts, Larry Campbell, made the stop.
It's going to be a tough group to run against. Now, I know Deuce McAllister had some early success, 7 carries for 51 yards. But now Mississippi State trying to gang that line of scrimmage with 8 and also the free safety. Eric Daniel, number 5, really creeps up very close, giving him almost a 9-man front.
2nd and 11. Here's the problem with Ole Miss trying to power football against Mississippi State. Mississippi State's bigger.
Yeah, and you're running against 2 extra players. Now, they've had success when they go into the boundary with the 2 tight end set because they get the extra blocker into the boundary. But what they're going to have to do, and then Ole Miss, is they're going to have to figure a way to block that free safety, Eric Daniel.
Mississippi State may get the ball back real quick here. Their defense doing a nice job. Another 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 for the true freshman walk-on quarterback, making the first start of his Ole Miss career tonight. Yet some time, David Morris's pass is high and incomplete. Left Tony Panyon exposed, and Tim Nelson said, let me check out your ribs. Kicking time.
Mike, again, David Morris had an open receiver, but Tim Nelson was right there. Would have made the tackle and kept him from the first down. Good play fake, but 3rd and long yardage, and you see Tim Nelson with a good lick.
Reagan King, after a punt that was 3 yards below his average, kicks to Kevin Prentice, 3rd in the SEC. 10.5 yards per punt return. A little bit higher. Prentice had to go to a knee to make the catch, and Mississippi State will finally start a drive in their own territory. ABC College Football tomorrow morning, bright and early. Texas A&M takes on Texas. Ricky Williams continues his Heisman march, 63 yards from Dorsett's all-time rushing record. Then right after that, Colorado, Nebraska. Not the same implications it's had nationally in the last few years, but still a big showdown in the Big 12 with bowl implications. That's tomorrow, the doubleheader nationally on ABC. The touchdown drive, Johnson back to the bench. Chris Rainey in as the lone back. He only got a yard. Chad Cook, the sophomore linebacker out of Calhoun City, Mississippi, made the tackle.
Mike, what's important about James Johnson, that the early tempo of a ball game is really decided by Mississippi State and James Johnson. Of his 213 carries, 65 carries in the first quarter, so they like to use him to kind of set the stage of what they're going to do in the running game.
Very similar to last week. Played early. It looks like it's more of a struggle for him to go now. So Chris Rainey has to carry more of the load. With the fullback McKinley trying to block for him. Rainey only gets a couple. Right near midfield, and Doc Punch, what's going on down there?
A lot of times when you pull a groin muscle, it's associated with significant fatigue. And you take a look at J.J.'s numbers against Alabama, you might understand why he was so tired. 36 rushes, 237 yards, averaging over 6.5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. On the week following that ball game, he was extremely sore in both groin areas, but it was the Wednesday of that week that he noticed a significant twinge in the right groin. That's why he couldn't go for just a handful of plays against Arkansas, and is seeing limited action here tonight.
So Jerry, they're thinking more air here. 3rd and 8, pressure on, and Mackin goes down. Sacked by Ronnie Hurd, his 2nd of the year.
And Mike, a big play by the defense. Ronnie Hurd making the sack because field position again in Mississippi State's favor. They took it over the 44-44 of Ole Miss and the 47 of State. And they have a weapon in Jeff Daniels, the punter, because he averages 43 yards, and he can pin Ole Miss back in the inside the 20.
Maurice Flournoy back deep to receive. Walker's kick is a good one. Flournoy trying to catch it on the run. Got blocked, and that will be a penalty against Mississippi State. Eugene Clinton. I was running for him, Coach, and he ran for me.
Lost track of the football, Coach. Don't want to hear it.
This will be the 2nd penalty on Mississippi State tonight. Steve Landis sorting it out. Credit the officials in the SEC office. They tried as much as they could to take the ugly edge off this game. And pregame on the field, it was a thick atmosphere, handled well because there were the official police out there.
And they were stationed all over the place.
Interference with the opportunity to make the catch on the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Big advantage for Ole Miss. To the studio and Chris Fowler. Chris?
Mike, an update from the Superdome where Sean King and Tulane is all over Louisiana Tech. King, the 12-yard run. He's also thrown for 3 touchdowns, one of the most valuable players in the country. They're up 26 after 3.
La Tech had a long layoff. It's been some 3 weeks since they last played. Their offense not able to do it against Tulane's high-powered attack. A great story in college football for Green Wave. Morris making a little play adjustment. This drive starts from the 41. McAllister got some yardage. Seemed like there was more room to run on that play.
There was. A good adjustment again by David Morris. And Mike, when you think about what he's going through tonight, 4 days to get ready for this ball game, his last high school regular season game at McGill-Tulane in Mobile, Alabama, was against BC Rains High School. 3,000 fans in the crowd. He said he's talked to his mother all week, and she said she has everybody praying for him in Mobile.
It's funny, his parents started calling on Sunday once they found out he was going to be the starter. And he said, hey, you guys can call. You're not bothering me. The parents were wondering, are we trying too much to talk to him and calm him down? McAllister gets a couple. Larry Campbell again the hit as that ball sits at the 48 as we come to the end of the first quarter. The opening drive started successfully for Ole Miss. That was a big question tonight because their quarterback knew nothing about the intensity of Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Some of the hitting that goes on in the field in this game, a little bit different than anything else that goes on for these teams in this conference this year. Mississippi State took the lead. They're up by 4 after 1 quarter on Thursday Night Football.
Mark, if you're at the airport before my 8 o'clock flight, maybe we can talk. Otherwise, it's over.
Didn't get an AC Delco battery? They last up to 30% longer. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
It's just one morning out of the year, but it's made of moments that make memories for life. It's about getting caught up in the moment and wondering what the memories will turn out to be.
Hello?
Merry Christmas, honey.
It's why there's the word joy.
Take a look outside, Dad.
And why at Radio Shack we'll just bet you can make someone special. Well, jump for joy.
I think he likes it.
Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, that sound system.
You guys like it?
It's Christmas morning. And this year, you can make it, in a word, merry. In other words, bet you can make them smile. And that's the best gift of all. Radio Shack.
Plunger.
Hello.
Spud wrench.
Hello.
In my mind, Bart, the greeter parrot, would end up being as friendly and knowledgeable as our True Value salespeople. Quarter wrench variable speed drill.
Hello.
In reality, he was, well, just friendly. Come on, Bart.
Hello.
On the football field, I can smell fear a mile away. And here I smell fear too. And it stinks.
But I ain't it. I'm afraid to try Zest Body Wash.
Listen, smelly boy, Zest gets you cleaner and more refreshed.
But I ain't it. I need some serious lather.
Look here, it takes 9 bars to get as much cleaner rinsing lather as Zest Body Wash with lather thingy.
Get cleaner, more refreshed with Zest Body Wash.
Now that's zestfully clean.
The Golden Egg Trophy, they suggested it, the Ole Miss Honorary Society did after fans brawled. In 1926, Ole Miss had a road win in Starkville. Their fans tried to pull down the goalpost. They wanted to calm things down and said, let's just play for our trophy. It's heated things up. 3rd and 3. McAllister can't keep his balance and cannot pick up the first down. Larry Campbell, with his surge, helped knock the offensive lineman in McAllister's way.
Good penetration again by Mississippi State defensively. And Mike, this is the kind of area in the field with 4th and 3 yards to go that you be aware if you're Mississippi State of a punt fake. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're in a punt-safe defense right here. And they're pointing toward number 22, who's Deuce McAllister. He's the up back.
Reagan King will kick it away this time. Let it go, and it dives in a great spot down at the 2 by Morris. Yes, his toe crossed the goal line, but it's where the ball is, not where the player is. A good drive start for the Ole Miss defense. Tommy Tuberville, every paper in the South says he's gone to Auburn. I asked him about it yesterday.
I personally have not been contacted, have not accepted a job. I'm not looking for a job, but you never say never, and I'm not the one that will lie to anybody. I'm just not going to do that. So, yeah, it's been a tough on my family and on the fans here and probably fans at other places, but the players, it doesn't really bother them.
He met with those players on Sunday and told them it's like any business. I'm not looking to leave, but I've got to listen. So just hang in here and keep your focus as Matkin gains just a yard.
As I look at you, let me just say, he's gone. I mean, that's unless something happens. I mean, he will be at Auburn. And when you talk about the players, the effect on the players, we talked to several players, and they said, yeah, it's almost like a farewell. They got like feeling there was a farewell to their coaching staff in this ball game tonight. Deuce
McAllister used that word. Kind of surprised all of us. And more players talk about, you can kind of sense it's a little different because of the coaching situation. Johnson's back in the lineup here on 2nd and 9. And gets the first down. His groin may not be 100%, but James Johnson can still move. Big old Randy Thomas with a good block to spring him for 20.
And Mike, we talked to the Art Kaufman, the defensive coordinator. He talked about Randy Thomas, number 77. He's the best offensive lineman we've seen this year, along with Alabama's Chris Samuels. And he does a nice job of springing James Johnson to the outside. See the lower body strength of James Johnson.
Johnson came out. Rainey is in. Hankins makes the play adjustment. On first down, looking deep. The flag is down. Kevin Prentice may have been harassed by Gary Thigpen on the way to the ball.
I think Gary Thigpen held Kevin Prentice because it was an out and up, and Gary Thigpen got fooled and reached out and grabbed Kevin Prentice. Here's the out and up by Kevin Prentice. Breaks outside. Now he works to go up, and there's the hold by Gary Thigpen.
So that will advance it. That's been a problem with Ole Miss in the secondary.
Against the defense, against an eligible receiver, when a forward pass crosses the line, that is a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And Mike, this is big, though, because James Johnson's run there behind Randy Thomas and this interference call, because when you have a walk-on freshman quarterback, you're looking to win the field position game. And right now, Mississippi State's changing that a little bit.
True freshman, Pig Fraser, is now the de facto. Here comes the Pig. Fraser gets out to the 36. A couple minutes in here in the second. Let's take a moment and look back at what happened in that first quarter. The good opening drive by Ole Miss, but the passing yards could start to catch up with them as the night goes on. Mississippi State has added to that rushing total. Defensively, had a good job done against them in the first.
Well, I think, again, the 2 yards running and the -3 yards passing is the key. Both teams trying to, the key for the Bulldogs is to run the football. Ole Miss wants to throw it a little bit to take some pressure off McAllister.
Two receivers in the game, 2nd and 7. Action on play action goes up top. Looking for Kelvin Rose. Incomplete. Kenny Woods coming over from the strong safety spot to help out Ken Lucas, who is 24.
Boy, nice job by Kenny Woods, the free safety, because he was over on the right side. He had to come back to make this play against Kelvin Love. Good job by Wayne Matkin, but here, watch number 12. Kenny Woods with a good job of finding the football and making the play.
You get the funny feeling Mississippi State's going to have a couple of chances to go deep here tonight. They're half a hiccup away from connecting. 3rd and 7. First down away to the 43. The blitz picked up. And fires complete for the first down. Kevin Cooper, the split end, catch number 20 on the year, is a 10-yard changer.
Mike, Wayne Matkin's been impressive, 79 of 158 for 10 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions. And he really put some mustard on this football to Kevin Cooper. Again, a nice drive by the Bulldogs, getting out from their own 1-yard line.
Johnson back in the game. It's only about a yard as Kendrick Clancy, the junior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, made the play.
Like in a rivalry football game, and just every play, the intensity is there, the concentration, the focus of every football player. And you know there's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 plays during this ball game that's going to change the course of the game. You never know when they're going to come. But the intensity with all the players are playing tonight is impressive.
So many of them from the state of Mississippi. Johnson got a good block. A yard shy of the first down. Thigpen pulled him down. Kenny Williamson and Dennis McKinley, fullbacks, are doing a nice job blocking for Mississippi State. And Johnson is just struggling, trying his hardest.
Mike, when you run a toss sweep, you start off with the tight end. 89 is going to block right here in the corner. Reginald Kelly, watch him pin his player right there. Now you get the corner. Now you get a good block outside by Matt Butler. Kenny Williamson, the fullback, and that becomes a successful play.
Play clock is down to 8. They have 2 fullbacks in the game with Chris Rainey. Trying to pick up their first third down conversion of the night. Here is Rainey. Got it. You can see right across the first down line as Chad Cook made the stop a yard too late.
Morris Scott had a chance, number 95. He broke through and had a chance to make the play on Chris Rainey, but Chris Rainey, 5'8", 197, kept his feet moving and got the first down. You look at the running backs for Mississippi State. Chris Rainey, Desenzo Miller also played behind James Johnson.
Rainey's had 22 carries coming into tonight. Miller 52. They're a good running team, second in this conference. Back into the air is complete. Looking for Kevin Prentice. He got knocked on his derriere and back down to Dr. Punt.
If you're wondering what a groin injury does, basically the groin muscles are the steering wheel for the pelvis. You see J.J. grimacing as he was coming up the field a moment ago. He has trouble turning. The groin muscles turn the pelvis to let you move laterally from side to side. Now, if you're an offensive lineman and you have a groin pull, you move straight ahead, so that's okay. But you see J.J. trying to turn left and right on a cold night, aggravating that groin. Boy, that's going to be tough if we see him play much more tonight.
Mike, it's tough without a steering wheel.
Play 10 of the drive is incomplete. A pass intended for Rainey out of the backfield. Doc, let me ask you a question. Why do groin injuries linger so much for skill position players? Seems like it takes so long to get over them for these guys.
Well, Mike, the problem is a skill position player spends most of his time running laterally left and right, a wide receiver or running back. And plus the fact there's a lot of blood supply, a lot of vascular area in the groin. So when you separate the muscle or tear it, you can bleed into it. That causes swelling. And if you're not careful, you can miss a month and a half with a muscle pull. That's the most critical part of it. That's what J.J. doesn't want to have happen tonight.
And out of the air, Jerry, 3rd and 10. Mackey looking for his 3rd completion. Let's one up deep. Oh, a great job to come back with a reception by Reggie Kelly, the tight end, his longest reception of the season, 38 yards.
Mike, again, credit the Bulldog offensive line. They're giving Wayne Matkin the time he needs to find alternate wide receivers. And Reginald Kelly, the tight end, just runs down the football field, runs a post. Now, he never gives up on the play. He continually tries to find Wayne Matkin the football. Didn't come back exactly like he wanted to, but still made the catch.
The push-off gave him room. He raced right to the 2 and really hit up high and quickly brought to his knees by Michael Boone, the junior out of West Helena, Arkansas.
Mike, this is all so the thing you think about if you're Jackie Sherrill and you get another score here, then you force Ole Miss to kind of get David Morris a little bit more involved, because once you start getting out a little bit, then you make them do some different things with their freshman quarterback.
Timeout is whistled here by Mississippi State. They don't want to make a mistake down here. They've come 95 yards with this ball, and they have 3 more to go.
Send your customers a FedEx package in 2 days, and it makes a big, big impression. Cost? Up to $11.
Send your customers a UPS package in 2 days, and it makes a big, big impression. Cost? Up to $11.
Send your customers a priority mail package in 2 to 3 days, and it makes a big, big impression. Cost? Just $3.
So, what's your priority?
I won't rest until every thirsty beer-drinking adult has a cold Coors Light in his hands. Rest. Rest is for the peanut vendors and the nacho guys. The folks who frost-brew Coors Light, they don't rest until it's perfectly refreshing. And it's my job to get it to you that way. Oh, there's no rest for the beer man, not until every fan here is refreshed.
Joey, you ready?
I think everyone here is pretty refreshed, right?
bottom.
Yeah, if I could only see.
I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge Excel has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge Excel, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
ESPN's presentation of Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service and by Coors Brewing Company and your local Coors distributor, who reminds you to be responsible. 21 means 21.
The holiday accoutrements have been added. The Square here in downtown Oxford. A chance to have our Thanksgiving dinner last night with our great crew down in the Square. A wonderful place. I'm going to set a story about life in the Old South. Oxford is the perfect setting. What a drive for the Bulldogs. Play 13. Mannion rolls. Looks like he's going to run. It's pulled down at the 3.
Run all the way. Kenny Woods with the tackle out of his safety position. There's no receivers out for a pass. They all block on this play. You can see Wayne Mackin tucked the ball right away from the start of the play, so it was going to be a run all the way. James Johnson returns. He seems to have a feel when he gets inside the 5-yard line.
Mississippi State has made its last 4 third-down opportunities. And another timeout taken in this series. You cannot afford a mistake down here, and that's why they take another timeout. 1 left. 3rd and goal. We'll be right back.
Every year during the holidays, it's great to be here in the Rocky Mountains. And not just because it's so darn pretty either. This is a great place to be because it's home. I sure hope you can be home for the holidays too.
Want to tell me why you were driving backwards, pal? I'm just bringing home some Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza. The pizza you eat backwards. I'm not in the wrong here, am I?
You're getting a warning.
I want my lawyer.
Just a warning.
Okay, he's here.
It's a mop.
My lawyer.
It's a mop.
It's the pizza-powered PlayStation giveaway. Right now, for $9.99, buy a large one-topping Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza and get a PlayStation demo disc with cool games like Crash Bandicoot, Warped, and more, and a chance to win $200,000.
I am his lawyer. What's your badge number? I know the mayor.
When it comes to heeding the call of the wild, National Car Rental knows there's really only one place to go. Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Because as the official car rental company of Walt Disney World Resort, National gets you in your car and on the savannah fast for an exciting adventure you'll never forget. So what are you waiting for? Let's go wild to Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park with National Car Rental.
Let's go.
Hokies and Cavaliers, a season-ending, bitter backyard rivalry for bragging rights.
College game day at 11. Virginia versus Virginia Tech at noon. Saturday on ESPN.
We always think of the Lions and the Cowboys at home, but college football is such a big part of Thanksgiving tradition. Glad you've joined us tonight. Mike Tirico, Mike Gottfried, Dr. Jerry Punch, Oxford, Mississippi. This drive has gone 96 yards in 13 plays, but now it's 3rd and a couple. For Mississippi State, leading by 4. They go with the horse, Johnson, who is stopped. It looks to be just short of the goal line.
Mike, I think you go for it here if you're Jackie Sherrill, because you've got, on the other side, you've got that freshman quarterback, and if you don't make it here, you're leaving the ball on the half-yard line. I like those odds, so try to punch it in right here and put 7 on the board. And if you don't, you leave the ball for David Morris on the inch line.
4th and goal. Johnson over the top. Touchdown, Bulldogs. A lot of pain in the 1-yard gain. And Mississippi State takes a 10-point lead.
Mike, you don't need a steering wheel for that kind of play. You just go over the top. But he is in pain.
Gutsy performance is cliche, but appropriate for what we're seeing out of the senior Johnson tonight. A 15-play drive. They bring it the length of the field. And Brian Hazelwood adds the extra point. And the Mississippi State lead is 11.
Just a great effort. You work this play all the time in practice. About 1.5 yards, 2 yards back. You go airborne. Everybody stays low. And you get in that end zone.
Rivalry. Every play important. Jackie Sherrill's sideline shows some of that emotion. See Johnson in excruciating pain with the groin injury. Didn't practice, if you're just joining us, all week. Even though it was a short week, he hasn't worked on it. In the training room when we visited down there in Starkville on Tuesday, he had just finished a couple of hours of treatment on that groin injury. But he is able to cap off a 98-yard, 15-play drive. A championship team kind of drive for Mississippi State.
And Mike, he's given effort inside that 5-yard line. 2 times he's been able to smell the goal line and get in there for a touchdown.
Maurice Flournoy and Ken Lucas await the kick from Jeff Walker, the punter with a big leg.
You just wonder, looking at him, how long he can go and what the after effects are going to be.
That's true. It's true. There is more football for these Bulldogs to play this season, perhaps next week. Returnable kick this time for Lucas. Runs into some interference from his own men and knocked down at the 23. And once again, Jerry Punt.
Well, guys, if you look at James Johnson, the worst thing he could do in this cold weather is leap in the air, which you just saw him do a moment ago, and he paid the price when he got up and came over to the bench. Now, you saw Rusty Linton, the orthopedic surgeon for Mississippi State, talking to J.J. I have been told by Rusty that they're going to let J.J. make the call. If he can play, he goes in the game. If he can't, he stays out. And I got to wonder if a little bit of adrenaline may be overcoming the wisdom here, because he might hurt himself where he couldn't play next week.
Well, Jerry, he told us last week was the hardest game ever for him. He's McAllister, the first down carry for about 3.5 yards. Hardest game ever for him because he had to watch. He had only missed 1 game growing up playing ball. In high school, he missed a game with an ankle injury, and he said, I never realized how tough it was to sit there and watch as the team made the dramatic comeback to beat Arkansas and get in position for tonight. If Mississippi State wins, they go to the SEC title game in Atlanta next Saturday.
And Mike, you can tell he's not 100%, but giving great effort tonight for his ball club.
See what Ole Miss can do now. 2nd and 5. McAllister with some room, and Deuce gets a first down to the 34-yard line. Well, NFL continues this weekend. The undefeated Broncos take on the San Diego Chargers. Terrell Davis going home. Game time after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. Monday Night Football. We'll see if Jerry Rice gets some more passes thrown to him early. San Francisco takes on the Giants on ABC, ESPN, and ABC. Your exclusive home for the National Football League in prime time. A senior, Johnson will be looked at by the NFL. A heating pad on that groin. Try to keep it as warm as possible. Morris to the air. And deep. Incomplete. Grant Hurd had a step, but Kendall Roberson was able to take advantage of the height of that pass.
Yeah, Kendall Roberson did a nice job defending Grant Hurd. And again, it's a one-man route. With the pressure that Mississippi State puts on quarterbacks, they're only sending one receiver out. In good coverage by Kendall Roberson.
Roberson, a junior out of Calhoun City, Mississippi. One of the places you pass through when you make the 100-mile drive north and west from Starkville to here in Oxford. McAllister protects, gets about 4 before third down. Here's Chris Fowler again.
Mike, it's the final in the Superdome. Tulane completes its first perfect regular season since 1931. Got it down on the ground as well tonight. Tony Converse, 4 touchdown runs. They win it 63-30. Back to you guys.
Well, congratulations to Tulane. What a wonderful story, and the score they put up this year, Chris. My goodness, capping it off with 63 on Thanksgiving night. 48, 49, 41, 72, couple of 52s. What a season. They'll play BYU in the Liberty Bowl. Morris to the air on third down. There's one receiver out, caught by Hurd and breaks free. Grant Hurd pulled down from behind finally by Robert Bean.
And a shoestring tackle by Robert Bean to save a touchdown. Ole Miss going to take their shots, throwing the ball down the field. Grant Hurd with a good move at the line of scrimmage. Robert Bean on him, loses track of the receiver in the football. But a shoestring tackle right here saves a touchdown.
Got some 6-foot receivers. I guess he's trying to take advantage of their height.
Throw it up. 6'3", Grant Hurd.
Great jump ball. McAllister switches direction. Cornell Menifee followed him. As McAllister took it inside the 30.
Mike, last year I had the Motor City Bowl, George Perlis's bowl game, and Ole Miss played against Marshall, and late in the ball game, Deuce McAllister just took over the game. John Avery was the headliner. He's now with the Dolphins. But Deuce McAllister came into the ball game and made a difference and won the Motor City Bowl with his inside running game.
Morris makes a change, 2nd and 5. That one was a little bit late. Kendall Roberson had a chance to close on it, and that one could have gone the other way.
Mike, we're going to take a look at what Ole Miss is trying to do to again, protect David Morris. Watch as he drops back. If there only one receiver goes out. Now, everybody's blocking in. Everybody's blocking one receiver out. It's Jamie Armstrong. Again, trying to protect the young quarterback.
3rd and 5 from the 28. From here would be a 45-yard field goal if they don't lose any yardage. A toss to McAllister. Did get a block on the outside. Worked it forward. Very close to a first down. I think he may have picked it up just over the 23. Good downfield blocking by Ole Miss.
L.J. Taylor with a nice block. Deuce McAllister, recruited by Notre Dame in Tennessee, decided on Ole Miss. He wanted to stay close to home so his folks could see him play. Here's the block for the wide receivers on the outside. There's Taylor's block.
Ole Miss responding with a nice drive here. McAllister adds to his 72-yard total. Maybe not much. Maybe a yard or so. Kenwan Smith and Menifee making the tackle.
Mike, one of the weapons that Ole Miss has is Rufus French. Now, obviously, the quarterback situation has changed a little bit of their offense, but Rufus French is a tight end that Tommy Tuberville says is the best tight end in the country. He has 34 pass receptions. Noah Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, said they got to get the ball to him 8 or 9 times tonight. Well, so far, he's been blank.
French is in on 2nd and 9. It is a steady diet of McAllister. Deuce breaks loose. McAllister to the 12 and a second effort first down. That is a major league run. Cooper and Smith had a shot at him.
He just ran out of the tackle of Ashley Cooper, number 1.
He keeps wanting to come.
I told you the coaches are looking the other way. Everybody says, don't look out there. He is going to leave the field.
19 carries. He averages 17 a game. We said he was going to have a Herculean effort. Replaced by Tony Kenyon. Kenyon gets down to the 8-yard line. He's the senior from Melbourne, Florida. this is the important area for every team, but it is topic one on the mind of the fans when they talk about Ole Miss and their offense, because they have gotten down inside the 10 a lot in the games that they lost and not gotten it done.
See that? Coach drew Deuce McAllister back on the field. Get on the field. Inside the 20. They've had some problems.
Stopped a couple of times at the 1 against Georgia. Multiple tight ends for 2nd and 6, and McAllister skirting forward close to the 5. Kevin Sluter made the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 3 down here with 2.5 left in a rapidly moving first half.
Deuce McAllister showing the effect of the extra carries here in the first half, trying to get his breath.
Sophomore who, Mike, is 4th in the conference in rushing. Behind Johnson, Walker at LSU, and Alexander at Alabama.
Get 24 carries versus Alabama for 188 yards rushing. I think he called the timeout here. He wants a little more time to rest.
Well, each team has taken 2 timeouts, 1 left on each side. We'll be right back with a crucial 3rd down for McAllister, Ole Miss.
I've been the New York Giants.
When we add on to our new building, we're going to have to expand our security system, our surveillance cameras, our fire alarm, telephone system, and paging system. I better get on the phone and call somebody to arrange all this.
Total Technical Solutions. Dwayne Ellis can take care of all of those systems for you. Total Technical Solutions can even advise you on whether your system will be large enough or advanced enough to handle current or future needs. Total Technical Solutions, your one total source for professional security and communication solutions.
You know that Play It Again Sports is new. Play It Again Sports is now located at 116 Hicks Drive in the East Rome Kroger Shopping Center. Play It Again Sports doesn't just sell previously on sporting goods. Play It Again Sports also carries new quality name brand sporting equipment. Play It Again Sports offers affordable as well as top-of-the-line treadmills. Don't miss our day after Thanksgiving sale at Play It Again Sports. Everything in store will be on sale from 5% up to 90% off. Don't miss our after Thanksgiving sale at Play It Again Sports, now located at the East Rome Kroger Shopping Center.
Halftime with Tom Jackson and yours truly. You get all the highlights from all the games. NFL Primetime, Sundays at 7:30 on ESPN.
Wow, prime time. I'm into that. Fred Couples, Tom Lehman, Mark O'Meara, Greg Norman. This holiday season, why not try some shark along with your turkey? It's the Skins game, Saturday at 4:30 on ABC.
The road team has taken the Golden Egg on the bus back to either Oxford or Starkville the last 4 years. McAllister, can he cap off this drive? Play 13 is 3rd and 3. Takes to do. Morris looking. Incomplete. He was looking for the All-America, Rufus French, the tight end.
Mike, when they called that play, what they were hoping was that Joe Lee Dunn and Mississippi State would figure the ball was going to go to Deuce McAllister, but the fake wasn't good enough. The fake really didn't hold anybody for Rufus French to get open in the corner.
Joe Lee Dunn, who has been animated during the last few plays of this drive. Making sure everyone's aware before Carlisle McGee's 2nd field goal attempt of the night. Sneaking it in, rattling it home. Still 3 points. Inside of 2 minutes, first half. The deficit is now 8.
Big Bob's Exterminating. Spiders? Oh, we do spiders. Scorpions? I love the challenge. Centipedes? Centipedes are our speciality. The queen centipede. Bring her on.
The Bugs are back. Centipede on CD-ROM. Take on 5 all-new World Tour Play Classic style. Get your hands on Centipede for PC CD-ROM.
Maybe we could talk about this?
Send your customers 2-day packages with FedEx and we'll deliver, even on Saturdays, for an extra $10.
Send your customers 2 to 3 day packages with priority mail and we'll deliver even on Saturdays at no extra charge.
Send your customers 2-day packages with UPS, and we'll deliver. But not on Saturdays. Sorry.
So, what's your priority?
You're just pushing yourself, and you're just thinking, all right, one more wave, and then you get out of the water, and you just run to the car, and then you just get to school, and we're running in. Me and my friend Craig were just running in, and like my hair's wet. He has a shaved head. He's lucky. And we run into class, and I'm just dumping sand out of my shoes in the middle of class, and like I just feel I'm all salty, and it's just great. I mean, if it's good enough, I mean, what's first period?
Mike, 3rd and short yardage for Ole Miss. David Morris is going to fake, but look at Deuce McAllister. He doesn't have his hands. There's no fake. There's nobody going to hold anyone with that kind of fake. It's not just the quarterback's responsibility, but the running back to make it look like a run and sell the run so that Rufus French can get to that corner.
The fake is more than just the quarterback.
It's more than the quarterback. The offensive lineman, the quarterback, the running back.
McGee, short kick taken by Jacinzo Miller. The Mississippi State drive starts at the 38. Let's check in now with Chris Fowler again. Chris?
Mike, we hope folks will stick around for our Coors Light halftime report. Highlights of Randy Moss going off, and also coin toss gate. Tulane stays perfect, and also in our hidden video, an example of trickery turned bad. Lee and Kirk will join me at the break. Back to you guys.
All right, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving to you and Coach and Kirk as well. From all of us here, everyone back in the studio.
Did you say tails?
Man, I feel bad for that official in the NFL game. Chris will show you that in a minute. Here's Chris Rainey breaking into the secondary and breaking free. Chris Rainey out of bounds at the 27, but a marker is down. Back by midfield.
Mike, this got to be a holding, I believe, and it might be on Kelvin Love, number 8. But it was thrown behind him.
Erasing some of a 35-yard gain.
Kelvin Love, a former junior college quarterback. There's going to be the hold. It's on Timothy Strickland right here.
You can see the way Strickland's head was pulled down quickly. If that's where the officials made the call, and from where it's been marked back, that's exactly what they did.
It's a quarterback, moves the wide receiver, and he has to learn how to block. And almost all quarterbacks would hold anyway.
Charlie Batch got hurt trying to block today. Came back in the game and won it, though. Rainey with the run to the 45. That will set up second in about 3.
Mississippi State still has 1 timeout, so they can take a shot down the field here.
They are at normal speed here, though.
They're wasting a lot of time.
It's kind of one of those areas where you want to be safe, and then once you get near midfield, you start quickening the pace, getting into the no-huddle offense, but they've gone slow pace throughout here. Rainey has the first down, still on his feet. To the 41 goes Chris Rainey.
They'll speed it up now, Mike, because now they can feel like that they're going to put some points on the board before halftime.
14-yard pickup. The clock has started.
Yeah, they're still going to use a huddle.
Oh, wow.
Not going to use the no-huddle offense. And they're walking to the line of scrimmage.
Jacinzo Miller is the lone back. Atkin with time. Down the middle. Incomplete. Clock finally stops with 27 seconds left, but certainly intriguing decision in clock management here.
Well, Tim Strickland, when we talked to him the other day, number 3, he said everyone has to step up a notch to keep Mississippi State out of the end zone. He does a nice job here of covering Kelvin Love. But you're right, Mike, a lot of wasted time by the Bulldogs.
You understand that you only have the 1 timeout left, but once you cross midfield, you figure that you take a little bit more of an aggressive, philosophical push toward the end zone, or at least the field goal range. Atkin on the roll. That's complete to Prentice. First down at the 29. They're in Hazelwood's field goal range with 21 seconds left.
Nice call by Lynn Amity, the offensive coordinator, to sprint Wayne Madgen out to the right side, right-handed quarterback. Throw the out route, Kevin Prentice.
Standing by for the Coors Light halftime report. Highlights of the NFL games and more with Chris, Lee, and Kirk. Mississippi State trying to take momentum and a larger lead to the locker room. Nothing on the inside run with DeCenzo Miller, and Mississippi State will take a timeout here with about 4 or 5 seconds left, I would guess.
Interesting.
Quarterback has walked right by the referee, or the official, and now stops the clock. He didn't walk to the referee. He walked to one of the linesmen. That's one of the things you always see the quarterback. Right next to that referee, the man with the white hat, make sure he knows. Field goal attempt in the final play of the half coming up. Mississippi State leads by 8. A 45-yard field goal is on the docket.
In a world of constant change, a solid foundation is the key to success. The 12 institutions comprising the Southeastern Conference form pillars of academic and athletic excellence. For more than 6 decades, the SEC's commitment to teamwork and achievement has provided the foundation for student athletes to become the leaders of the next millennium. The Southeastern Conference, a proven past, a promising future.
Ole Miss at Oxford, joined in poignant history and powerful words.
I had this crazy idea that I might get to actually meet Faulkner, but he did die before I got there. I couldn't believe how good the professors were. They were able to make the world open up.
Is it the words that capture a place, or is it the place that captures the words?
It gives you the confidence to go into the world.
Ole Miss at Oxford, where words come to life.
Well, as the timeout ends, Ole Miss uses its final timeout, so Brian Hazelwood will have a chance to think about this field goal a little bit longer. He made all 5 last week, including the game winner against Arkansas, to set up this win and get in the title game. And there's another very interesting story to go with Hazelwood. Kentucky game a couple of weeks ago, he missed an extra point and a few field goals. Well, the next day, he proposed to a young lady who is the star setter on the volleyball team at Mississippi State. Her name's Jenny Head. Jenny said yes, and since proposing and getting the positive response, Hazelwood's made all 7 field goals.
A lot of men have been nervous proposing. So after he proposed, everything settled down,
Well,
right?
there's a bit of advice to any football players who are thinking about proposing. Don't do it on a Sunday. Try to get it out of the way earlier in the week so you can get it off your mind. Don't do it the night right after a game, you know. Have it on your mind during the game on Saturday.
Or just don't do it. Wait till football season's over.
45-yard field goal attempt by Hazelwood. Long enough. Off the upright, no good. He snuck it in at the end of the game against Arkansas. That one drew the upright. Mississippi had one off the upright and in. Mississippi State off the pipe and no good. Had the distance from 45. But off the top. Hazelwood was hanging in there. But has his field goal streak stopped at 7. Tommy Tuberville's team still a 1-possession game. They're down 8 as we head to the locker room. Ole Miss has a little momentum. Now the Coors Light halftime report with Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit. Here's Chris Fowler. Chris?
Well, Mike, thank you. He got the note in, but then the Hazelwood proposal streak.
He jinxed him.
He jinxed him. Is that what happened?
Like a no-hitter.
He mentioned it
Like a
three
no-hitter, right?
Yeah,
Like a no-hitter.
We're coming back. We'll talk some football on our Coors Light halftime report. We'll have highlights, of course, from the National Football League. A wild game in the Silverdome between the Lions and the Steelers. We'll tell you about that. Coin toss troubles in overtime. And also, Thursday favorite, our hidden video will not disappoint you.
Welcome to FedEx. This is Judy Price. I'd be glad to help you track your package. Right now it's safe, it's sound, and it's on its way to Boston. Another package? The weather's a little iffy in London, but it should arrive on schedule. Yeah, 6 packages. How long should I on that call? An hour and 15 minutes. Roosevelt Road first thing in the morning. Another package?
Same call.
She's going for a record. No delays in Cedar Rapids. Is that it, sir? Happy holiday. You have a nice holiday, too.
We should have thought of this years ago.
Got an important package? Send it FedEx and be absolutely sure.
To the world at large, we are merely germs, small, insignificant bacterial growths. But today, we stand united, knowing full well the glorious reward that awaits each and every one of us. Sure, we're just germs. Looking out, I see more. I see heroes. Are we ready? Ready, sir. Do me proud. 1, 2, 3.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
This moment will live forever.
This halftime report is presented by Coors Brewing Company and your local Coors distributor, who reminds you to be responsible. 21 means 21.
We once again wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back to our Coors Light halftime report. One other college football game besides the game you're watching today. Tulane trying to complete the perfect regular season. They knew their opponent, BYU, in the AXA Equitable Liberty Bowl. And the time it takes to say that, Tulane can get in the end zone. They're that good offensively, and they were tonight. Sean King, not a one-man team. He has some good weapons, and downfield, this is Kerwin Cook for 59 yards, backing his way to the reception and the 59-yard touchdown, his second of the game. 28-16 wave in the first half. King, again, up the middle on the QB draw. The defense just parts. I don't want to say Tech's bad on defense, but they are atrocious on defense.
Sure you don't want to say that?
I do want to say Tony Converse thinks so, too. He just waltzes in the end zone. He ran for 4 touchdowns. Tommy Bowden and Tulane, 11-0, headed to the bowl game against BYU. That ought to be a good matchup. The Cougars' defense is tough. King, 19-26, 330, 3 touchdowns. He had the running touchdown and 92 yards rushing. Converse, one of the offensive studs. So Tulane is 11-0, the first of the 4 unbeatens to get into the bowl game. Perfect, and it's a great story, Lee.
Well, Tulane started playing football in 1893, and this has to be the best football team they've ever had. Has to be the best season they've ever had. They got the coach of the year, my mind, Tommy Bowden. They got the most valuable football player in all of college football, and quarterback Sean King. You know, life is good on Bourbon Street, my friend, but it's just a little bit better right now, man.
You would know about that Bourbon Street.
Ooh, I love Bourbon Street.
Yeah, a couple years ago, we were down for the Sugar Bowl, and Tommy Bowden had just taken a job at Tulane. He's handing out hats and T-shirts. Who would have ever thought that 2 years later, he would have his team at 11-0. His coach mentioned he's up for the National Coach of the Year. But one thing is for sure, his quarterback, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I don't know about the player of the year in the whole nation because there's a guy named Michael Bishop and Ricky Williams. But he is a great quarterback.
I said most valuable player.
He took a lot of Buddy Stevens recruits and won big, and you're right. Also at that time, he was kind of wondering, was this going to be a stepping stone job at Tulane?
Right.
He was wondering at that time. Now we'll have to see. Yeah. I still wear that Tulane T-shirt. Meanwhile, in the NFL, a wild afternoon. We'll start off with the Vikings and the Cowboys game here. Scoreless game in the first quarter. Without Deion Sanders today, though, the Dallas secondary was horrible, in big trouble. This is early going here. You see, 2 minutes in, it's the flea flicker. Randall Cunningham to Randy Moss, a kind of an awkward gallop in the end with that dance.
Got to work on that.
Yeah, it's 7-0 Vikings in the first quarter. It's 14-6 Cunningham. How do you like Randy Moss now, Lee Corso? 21st player drafted this April. Making some teams look very bad.
This is speed here.
Watch this one. Yeah.
This is 4-3 right here.
It's maybe not great tackling, and they have some major issues without Deion. Yeah. Great little move. Moss, 3 catches, 163. All of them were touchdowns, and the Vikings hammered Dallas 46-36 in a game that really wasn't that close. Randall throws for 4 touchdowns and 300 and 59 yards. Now to the wild game. Steelers, Lions. Bobby Ross, a win he won't soon forget, and the loss for the Steelers are not going to forget either. Bats drops back to Herman Moore. Touchdown. Game tied at 13. 16 apiece heading to overtime. Listen carefully for the coin toss here. Jerome Bettis.
Always lays in the air. Head is the call. He said head. It is a tail.
Oh, I believe he said tail. He did. Well, he blew it. Yeah. You heard him say tail. Yes, so the Lions win the coin toss on that mistake, get the ball, drive down, and kick a game-winning field goal. 42 yards for Jason Hanson. The Steelers, they never got the ball in overtime, left to scratch their heads and wonder what the heck happened. Pittsburgh now a couple of games behind the Jaguars in the divisional race. Detroit holding on to faint playoff hopes as they head to the 49ers next. In the first half, it was a game-time decision. James Johnson did play, did get in the house in the first half. Bulldogs up by 8.
There's no better job than this one. Hey, I get to deliver refreshing frost-brewed Coors Light to my dear friends.
Alex.
And they enjoy it.
Hey, Alex.
Because Coors Light is Rocky Mountain Refreshment, the silver bullet, La Bala de Plata. And I am the one who's got it. Besides, I'm here to please them. And it makes me kind of, popular.
Hey, beer hombre.
A new friend. Coors Light! Coors Light!
Uh-oh. I'm a junior VP, and all the junior VPs have one of these. So I'll just call my secretary, and then she'll... Voicemail. Truck number 4's down?
Gotcha. I'm a mailroom guy, and all the mailroom guys get to see the phones that the senior VPs get.
Nextel's two-way radio feature makes ordinary cell phones seem ordinary.
You know, these days, lots of deodorants are talking antibacterial protection. Fact is, every deodorant is antibacterial, so it's not about that at all. It's about whose deodorant lasts longer. High Endurance. Its 24-hour formula evaporates less quickly than the leading stick. Old Spice guarantees it, or they'll buy you a stick of yours. If you want odor protection that really lasts, High Endurance exceeds the need.
We're back in the Coors Light halftime report. Well, there's two teams in the Big East, one big bowl bid, one conference championship, and it's all on the line when Syracuse takes on Miami. Is the pressure on a less experienced Miami team or a veteran Syracuse team with the success or failure of its
markers and the white lines on the field, and as we get set to start the third quarter, Mississippi State 14, Ole Miss 6. Mike Tirico, Mike Godfrey. Happy Thanksgiving to our families who we are not with here tonight as well. You know, Coach, when you watch Morris, the true freshman in the first half, if you're a coach, do you say, all right, I got to let him loose here in the second half?
Got to turn him loose, but in fairness to Tommy Tuberville, 5 drives that they started, 4 was started inside their own 25. So field position's been bad, but now you're behind, you've got to turn him loose.
In that first half, it was Mississippi State moving the ball down the field at the end. 14-6, an opportunity to take an 11-point lead in this battle for the old Golden Egg, but chose to try to just get in comfortable field goal range, and Hazelwood's field goal was off the upright. Thus, it remains an 8-point lead for the Bulldogs. Mississippi State to receive the kickoff here, starting the third quarter, and it's Kevin Prentice. Oh, hard hit on Prentice as they get across the 20-yard line. Here's Dr. Jerry Fox.
Well, guys, leading SEC rusher James Johnson has not come out of the Mississippi State locker room, and the news we have gotten here on the sidelines is not good. No, he didn't re-aggravate the groin injury. That is very sore and uncomfortable. What we are being told is he has a grade 2 separation of his left shoulder. There are 3 grades. First, grade 1 is the slightest, grade 3 the most severe, but he is probably, in all rights, through for the night.
All right, Jerry, so Chris Rainey must carry the load for Mississippi State, and their hopes of getting into the SEC championship game. They need a win here. Rainey gets about 4.5 yards. Morris Scott on the tackle as we look at the impact of Johnson tonight.
Yeah, on the second drive, he had 4 rushes, but he got in the end zone. That 4th drive, that's a 98-yard drive. He carried once out of his own 1-yard line, had a big carry of 12 yards. He averaged 6.2 yards per carry and got in the end zone again. That was the biggest drive of this football game because that brought all the momentum to the Bulldogs.
At after a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 for Mississippi State. Good. Open space for Rainey to run. It will be 3rd and 1.
James Johnson on the drive that we're just talking about from his own 1-yard line. Got a nice block by Randy Thomas who broke it outside. And again, on the same type of sweep play, picked up valuable yardage, then over the top for the touchdown. And then the pain on the sideline.
The groin injury and the shoulder injury. Johnson still in the locker room. It's up to the junior Rainey, who's carried just 22 times coming into tonight, but has been effective. On 3rd down, cannot get the first down. Armigas Spearman, quiet in the first half. The top tackler made a big tackle to force a punt.
Might go back to the drive just before half. You talked about it. Mississippi State walked to the line of scrimmage, really didn't take advantage of the time they had, and missed the field goal. So that may come back to haunt them.
Jeff Walker back deep to kick. Maurice Flournoy is back to receive. Ole Miss without its great punt returner, Corey Peterson, tops in the SEC. Takes a Mississippi State bounce and will be down at the 28. That's where the drive will start for Morris and the Ole Miss offense. Here are the numbers in the first half, and there's that field position you talked about, Mike.
Again, that you want to turn your quarterback loose, but you don't want to put him in a position where bad things happen. Now it's the second half. He's a veteran now. You just call plays that you would ordinarily call for Romaro Miller now. Passing yardage, only 26 passing yardage for Ole Miss. Rufus French shut out the first half.
Is this a big running kind of game? This is the 69th snap of the game. The first 68 have seen 49 runs. But David Morris is going to go to the air. Incomplete. Look for Antoine Scott, the fullback. Who's Jerry?
Well, guys, at halftime in the Ole Miss locker room, exactly what you were talking about, Coach. They're having to pare down the passing game. The absence of Romaro Miller means they can't do nearly what they'd like to do throwing the football. And what they're going to try to do in the second half is maybe use some play action, some rollouts, some sprint outs, so David Morris can see downfield. He's complaining he cannot see his receivers downfield. They will also try primarily to run the football and also try to get Morris outside on a sprint action so he can see to throw the short passes downfield.
And, Doc, that was exactly what they did on the first play. Try to get him outside so he can see a little bit better and throw the football.
McAllister carries for 6 yards to the 34. McAllister's numbers are getting very close to 95 yards for the game, and when he gets to 95, he will go over the 1,000-yard mark. Incredibly, 1949. The last time an Ole Miss back went over 1,000 yards for the season. He's 3 away from doing that.
Mike, you already see a change where Ole Miss now is bringing 3 wide receivers out, where in the first half they only had 1 receiver out on most of the patterns.
Irving for Morris, a first down pass, and more to Corey Peterson across midfield. Well, Peterson, we saw very little of the top pass catcher on this team because of a shoulder injury, and you can see he looks to be very gingerly guarding that shoulder. Big catch here, though.
Didn't think he would play tonight. Corey Peterson just running a curl route, isolated on Kendall Roberson, then picks up valuable yardage after the catch.
He will be forever cemented in the Egg Bowl rivalry. Caught the 2-point conversion from Stuart Patridge last year. That was the margin of victory. McAllister runs to the 40 and goes over the 1,000-yard mark. It is the first time in 38 years that an Ole Miss back has gone over 1,000 yards in a season.
Well, he needs to thank Matt Luke, the center, because he made a very valuable block. And Matt Luke the other day made no bones about it. He said, I hated State since he was old enough to crawl. His father, brother played here at Ole Miss.
It's a lot of football and a lot of good players who've been through this program.
And I think Keogh's, didn't they say he was here tonight?
I think they did. You're right. 1949, 1950. I mean, we're talking a long time. Oh, look at what we have. We have Keogh running for some of his 1,000-yard seasons in 49 and 50.
Nice cut.
Watch the cheerleader on the sideline there in the long skirt jumping up and down as he was running for the touchdown, huh? How great was that? And now the fans have been told chant deuce here in Oxford. Just shy of the first down. McAllister gets that and more. To the 28. Some inside running for Ole Miss.
Well, Eric Daniels saved a touchdown out of his free safety position on Deuce McAllister. When you're a safety on an 8-man front football team, you're almost the last man. And number 5, Eric Daniels slides over and makes the tackle on the Deuce.
His given name is Duemus. Started to be called Deuce because he wore number 2 in high school when David Palmer was known as the Deuce and running around for Alabama. Deuce making Palmer-like moves as he wiggles to get to the 20.
And he said one of his high school coaches couldn't pronounce his first name. He just said, we'll call him Deuce.
And we like that thought. That's a tough name to pronounce.
And Deuce looks like he had a nice rest at halftime because he's fresh now.
There he is, Deuce. A big game against Georgia, 170 all-purpose yards. Noel Mazzoni's going to try to ride 22. 15-yard line.
Mike, he makes good moves in the backfield, and he's always moving downhill. Deuce McAllister, who's 6'2", 215 pounds. Slide, cuts, makes the move. Great vision, keeping his eyes open and looking for the move.
He deserves a big old hug. Look at that. 5/8 of the plays. As the other big back says, oh, you're going to start doing this? I may have to come back. McAllister gets a break. Kenyon gets hit hard by Menifee. Cornell Menifee, the junior, made the stop, and there is James Johnson returning to the sideline. Who knows if he'll return to the game. You don't hear much about him nationally, but the leading rusher in a conference where the run is how it's won.
Recruited by Alabama and Mississippi State out of Mobile, Alabama. The mayor there, Mayor Dow, has to be happy with all the football players he's putting out all over the country.
2nd and 10, Morrison's blitz to the end zone. Incomplete. Wanted a flag in the worst way, did L.J. Taylor. Didn't get it.
Looked like L.J. Taylor didn't get his hands up to make this catch. He's working against Eric Daniel. Let's see what happened here. Well, I can tell you why he didn't get his hand up. Eric Daniel held it down. His right hand is being held. That's why he couldn't get it up there.
Daniel, the senior, on the coverage. 3 receivers again. 3rd and 10. Morris for Peterson. Intercepted. Robert Bean brings it out. Down the sideline comes Bean. Pulled down by McAllister at the 30. Well, never pulled down. Look out, this is where it could get ugly. The entire Mississippi State team runs over to that area. Everyone trying to pull away the Ole Miss Rebels and make sure this doesn't alleviate and aggravate it more. And now the Ole Miss team is run. About 15 players on defense getting ready to come out, or maybe some offensive players, ran out onto the field. Try to protect their players. This is nasty. Turnover by Ole Miss.
To see a bit of what makes Dodge Intrepid fast, let's cut to the quick. It has a sparkling 200 horsepower gem of an aluminum engine, grippy independent suspension, crisp steering, and a highly functional driving space. Intrepid demonstrates a lot of powerful thinking, no matter how you slice it. Well equipped, $20,495.
Oh, great one. How much time do I have left?
You have 15 minutes.
15 minutes? 15?
Maybe 20?
What? I can't take a bath in 20 minutes. What are you talking about?
Oh, times on tapes.
There is a better way to see how much time's left on your tapes. Sony Smart File. With one wave, it automatically tells you what's on your tapes. Plus, it fast-forwards to exact spots.
I'm getting another call. They just said 40 minutes for you. This is your lucky day, mister.
Sony Smart File VCRs. Now you know.
On a clear night in the outback,
They say you can see every single star in the sky. And people come from all over with one thing on their mind: food.
That looks like a steak knife to me.
Juicy steak. Tender chicken. Fresh fish. To barbecued ribs.
And up ahead, ladies and gents, dinner.
Here's some things you won't see anywhere else. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
ESPN's presentation of Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. For a legendary steak, fresh fish, or tender chicken, get to Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Great author William Faulkner, This Neck of the Woods. Intruders in the Dust, one of his books, probably not talking about Mississippi State with that title. Maybe more like Sound of the Fury for tonight. The battle for the golden egg. This young man who's trying to become part of the lore of Ole Miss football had a good drive going. He was intercepted for the first time. And now Mississippi State takes over from its own 29. Rainey is the lone back. Wayne Matkin play action. Ability to run. Matkin pushed hard out of bounds by McGee.
Mike, in fairness to David Morse, he had a touchdown right here to L.J. Taylor. But the hand of Eric Daniel holds the hand of L.J. Taylor, so he can't get a second hand up to catch the football. Then the next play, Robert Bean going against Corey Peterson, uses his hands very well, gets his 4th interception of the year.
And then the activity afterwards that brought about a dozen Ole Miss players across as the Mississippi State players on their sideline were surrounding the ball carrier. Ball carrier here is Rainey. First down yardage across the 40 and to the 43. Watch those hoop scores go by. Remember at midnight, Duke, Notre Dame college basketball from Alaska on ESPN. So the feast of sports continues. Ole Miss had a great opportunity. Now Mississippi State with an 8-point lead will try to take away some of that rebel momentum. Rainey met by Mirgus Spearman and knocked down. Jerry Punt.
Guys, let's show you James Johnson. He is out of the locker room now, standing on the sidelines. The doctors have told Jackie Sherrill that he is not going to play in the second half. They have told James he's not going to play. They wanted him to change clothes. He wanted to put his uniform back on and come back out here, so he is standing on the sidelines. They told everyone he's not going to play, but this kid somehow wants to get back in this football game.
Usually when you're after the game, they take your helmet, but because the fans can get hostile in this rivalry, headgear is necessary for spectators on the sideline. Atkins fires. Bump early, but no flag on Timothy Strickland's coverage. It may have been one of those right to a pass to the football situation.
Timothy Strickland was right on Kevin Prentice. Number 12, motion. The reason you use motion, because you don't want to be bumped at the line of scrimmage. Tim Strickland still gets a little bump on him and made a nice play.
In fairness to the officials, most every pass, which has not been very pretty tonight, has some sort of potential pass interference call possible.
Been a lot of contact in this football game with the defensive backs and wide receivers.
And given the nature of this heated rivalry, these officials have done a heck of a job. 3rd and 8. Matthew thinking about dancing. Being chased. Nearly intercepted by Gary Thigpen. 4th down.
Gary Thigpen, who was a walk-on here at Ole Miss, starter since his freshman year, was in great position to deflect that football. But again, Mississippi State going to use their punter now, Jeff Daniels, to try to change that field position back and make Ole Miss go a long way.
This time, Corey Peterson is back to receive the kick. Walker did not get his best one off. Peterson to the 19. No room to run. Mississippi State does a great job covering punts, 2nd best in the conference. Jeremy Jones led the charge after a 36-yard kick. We step out. Ole Miss ball, down 8.
It's hard to respect the French when you have to bail them out of 2 big ones in 1 century. But we have to hand it to them on mayonnaise. Nice job, Pierre.
There's a lot of reasons why so many people who take care of their cars turn to AutoZone each week. The low prices on the replacement parts they really need, and the large selection of the things they simply want. But most of all, they come to AutoZone because of the helpful, friendly people who work there. The kind of folks who know their stuff and who'll go the extra mile to help you out. Because after all, taking pride in taking care of people is what AutoZone is all about.
For Dodge Intrepid, we looked beyond a great look and took cab-forward architecture to a new place. With a spacious cabin, a very useful pass-through, and a cavernous trunk, Intrepid is an automobile for today, wrapped in a shape for the next millennium. Well equipped for as low as $20,495.
Hear that? That's music to a man's ears. That's the sound of one friend keeping another friend cold. Thank you, refrigerator.
D. Martin and the versatile ball charging up the hard-hitting D of the Commodores. Tennessee versus Vanderbilt at 3:30 Saturday on ESPN2.
Mississippi State in a must-win situation if they want to decide if they're going to be part of the SEC championship game on ABC next Saturday. Romaro Miller so hoped to play in this game. The quarterback from Shannon, Mississippi, took over as the starter this year, and the sophomores had a great passing season for Ole Miss standards. But the shoulder injury at the end of the Georgia game has kept him out. Houston McAllister gains 5 yards as they've had to turn to David Morris, the walk-on true freshman quarterback, and both quarterbacks not having any success throwing tonight, Mike.
No, and both of them, and you look at the statistics, Matt get 4 out of 12. But Morris had a touchdown pass that Eric Daniel stopped. So 3 for 13 for 43 yards and the interception by Beans.
Matkin is also a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman. McAllister is hit and hit hard in the backfield. Third down coming up. Kevin Sluter, the right tackle, along with Kenwan Smith. In on the stop.
Kevin Sluter, the emotional leader of this Mississippi State defense, just sliced inside. And that's what you do, Mike. In an 8-man front, you're moving your defensive tackles, defensive ends, linebackers blitzing. Sluter came down inside, was unblocked.
Needs to get just to the 30 for a first down. Morris gets there. On the pass to Grant Hurd. The junior out of Lake Jackson, Texas, with another catch.
Mike, I think David Morris has played very well tonight. He's made a couple mistakes, but 4 days of practice, once he knew he was going to be the starter in the ball game, he was very nervous when we talked to him on Wednesday. But I think he's held his poise, his composure, and I'm sure Tommy Tuberville and Noel Mazzoni, the offensive coordinator, are proud of his efforts.
Another 3 receiver set. Spread him out a little bit. Give McAllister some room to operate in the deuce. Gets to the 39. It'll be second and about 4. We mentioned right after SportsCenter, which follows us, about midnight Eastern tonight. To the Great Alaska Shootout, Elton Brand, #1 Duke, takes on Notre Dame. Of course, Trajan Langdon gets to return home for the Great Alaska Shootout. And tomorrow, Kansas UNLV from Springfield, Mass. Stanford and North Carolina, the title game of the Chase preseason NIT. And the semifinal of the Great Alaska Shootout. Triple dip of hoops. That time of year again for wall-to-wall basketball on ESPN and the Deuce. Zoni, the offensive coordinator, calls McAllister again, and the Deuce sees #2 for Mississippi State, Edward Smith. Bring him down.
Mike, no movement on the left side. Edward Smith makes the tackle. He leads his team in tackles with 105 this year. He's had 11 sacks. Very active on the outside.
Smith was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week for his 3-sack effort against Arkansas. We asked him about 6 sacks in 2 games. So he's getting the quarterback. No kidding.
And he'll be on the move right here.
3rd and 6. Movement. Mississippi State started to make a charge for the quarterback, and The Ole Miss offensive line flinched.
For the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Like both those linebackers, Edward Smith, number 2, making a little bit of move, and Newton Reyes just moved a little bit on the outside.
You saw him with that arm pump. I'm starting to come at you. And that got Reyes to move. Now 3rd and 11. Must get to the 43. This time Reyes hung in there. Morris has time. Tony Canyon caught it, but he is about 5 yards shy of the first down. Guess who made the hit? Pretty good drive for number 2.
That's why he's so valuable, Edward Smith. He can blitz from the outside. Now you drop him back into coverage from his outside linebacker position. He comes up, makes a nice tackle on Tony Canyon.
Motor always going. He's been the bellwether for this team this year. When he has played well, it's been a good Mississippi State defensive effort. Late Reagan King getting that kick away, but he does. And it is fair caught by Kevin Prentice at the 24. That punt covered 38 yards. The Bulldogs lead by 8 against Tommy's team.
This is it, the sale of the year. Massey's first annual pre-Christmas sale. For 2 days only, Friday and Saturday, November 27th and 28th. Massey's Fine Jewelry will offer up to 50% off Seiko and Pulsar watches, 30% off diamond anniversary bands, 20% off Adelink bracelets, and 20% off slides. Shop early. Massey's doors will open at 8:30 a.m. and they'll accept only cash or credit cards at these once-a-year prices. Save up to 50% Friday and Saturday, November 27th and 28th at Massey's first annual pre-Christmas sale.
The big rigs from Lane are on the move, and they're coming to Don Adams Furniture in Rome. If you need a stylish recliner for the lady of the house, or a Comfort King recliner for your 6'5", 300-pound lineman, we have the chair for you. Our entire stock is marked down to the lowest price of the year, starting at only $299. Make your selection now at Don Adams Furniture, 519 Broad Street in Rome.
Friday Night Fights, showcasing today's best talent and classic bouts from the past. This week, Stefan Willett takes on Davey Hilton, plus a look at the best pound-for-pound boxers of all time. Friday Night Fights, tomorrow at 8 on ESPN2.
So get ready for ESPN Sunday Night Football. This week, Terrell Davis and the Broncos look to continue their perfect season when they collide with Junior Seau and the Chargers. ESPN Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8:15.
Oh, I got to remember to watch that game.
Look at James Johnson. JJ, the top runner in the SEC, can't go because of an injury, but he's over there telling the defense, guys, way to go, way to hold Ole Miss off the scoreboard again in this 14-6 game. And he's a cheerleader now for Chris Rainey, running in his place at the tail spot. Matching pass on first down to Terrence McCaskey, the big tight end. 6'8", 282. The Georgia native takes it over the 40 for a 19-yard first down pickup.
A nice little cheap fake by Wayne Matkin. His tight end's going to release right here in the flat. Terrence McCaskey. Linebackers held a little bit. Terrence McCaskey in the flat, makes the catch, and then rumbles on down the field till Timothy Strickland can make the tackle.
From the 43, rare carry for the fullback, Dennis McKinley. A nice gain by McKinley, just near midfield.
Well, I talked to Lynn Amity on the field, the offensive coordinator for Mississippi State. He said he couldn't talk enough about Dennis McKinley. He said he's a tremendous blocker, but more than that, an unselfish player. Doesn't care if he carries the football. He's going to lead James Johnson or Chris Rainey or whoever's in there at the tailback position.
The safety Tim Nelson said it best. This is the nicest guy you want to meet, but he'll hurt you, even if he's your friend in practice. After McKinley's 5-yard gain, he turns into a blocker for Rainey. He gets the first down. The hard hitting continues by the sideline. One of the Ole Miss coaches took the worst of that. As Kenny Woods went tumbling into the bench area. I'm okay. It's Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I'm fine. Was that I chipped a tooth?
His tooth is hurting a little bit with that signal.
Rainey comes out after his 14th carry, and DeCenzo Miller, a freshman, is in at the tailback spot. Mackin going up top. Complete for Prentice inside the 30 to the 29. Good drive going here. ABC Sports, college football, split the country in half Saturday at 1 Eastern for Michigan State, Penn State. Michigan State needs to win to be in a bowl. For North Carolina State, North Carolina, same scenario for the Tar Heels. Then in primetime, after the Skins game, who will quarterback the Irish? And you know one thing, Autry Denson will carry a lot. Notre Dame, USC on ABC, Saturday night at 8 Eastern. Great football still ahead this weekend. A 4-day football feast, and we're glad you've joined us for Turkey Night. Miller is stopped on no gain. Spearman and Hurd in on the tackle. It's great that there's a game on Thanksgiving night, a college football game, because Thanksgiving Day is owned by the NFL and the great traditions in Dallas and in Detroit. But afterwards, it's kind of a letdown. And to have a great rivalry on Thanksgiving night, sure, it's a little bit of a pain for the people involved, but it's great to sit at home and watch something like this.
No, I agree, but these people don't look like they're in pain. This has been a great crowd tonight. They've really been in this football game.
2nd and 10 from the 28. Look at end zone. Incomplete. What an effort by Timothy Strickland, keeping Kevin Cooper from what would have been his 4th touchdown of the year.
Mike, when we talked to him the other day, he said he made that interception last year in the Mississippi State ball game that sealed the win, and he just does it. And a great job of closing on Kevin Cooper right here. The post pattern, you can see the distance that he gave out. Great closing speed to deflect that football with his left hand.
Great looks, guys. 3rd and 10. Out of the gun comes Mackin. They rush 5. Will a screen beat the blitz? With DeCenzo Miller. Touchdown! Score, and the Bulldogs lead by 14. And that thing you heard being slammed to the floor came from the Arkansas faithful. Ryan Hazelwood on to make the lead 15. Does just that with a powerful boot. The freshman with his 2nd touchdown.
Anthony Kapp and Randy Thomas. The right tackle and right guard going to set, block. Now DeCenzo Miller gets the football. Both linemen are downfield making blocks to get DeCenzo Miller in the end zone. Nice job cutting back against the grain to score that touchdown. He saw Anthony McGee, took off to the right, got in the end zone.
True freshman out of Weir, Mississippi, honorable mention All-America, and the state of Mississippi's Player of the Year, as voted by USA Today, has brought the Bulldog fans who made the journey from Starkville to their feet. Remember, if these guys win, Mississippi State will play in the SEC title game.
Mike, you think of the drain on them because they've beaten Arkansas in an emotional game. If they hold on here and beat their rival, and then they got Tennessee waiting ahead of them, and you look at Ole Miss on the other side, I think they need a win to get into a bowl. They shouldn't. But when you talk to the coaches and the players, they felt they needed one more win. They're bowl eligible with 6 wins.
And the uncertainty of their coaching situation probably factors into that a bit.
I think without a doubt, and the fact their quarterback's hurt. In the case of the coaches in here, and like Ferlin Husky said, since you're gone, in the 50s, a song, I think that plays a factor in this thing, whether they get in the bowl game.
Jeff Walker with the deep boot into the end zone. Thank you for telling us that was from the 50s. I really wasn't.
I know you.
aware of
Furlan
that.
Husky
No.
went over your head.
Yes, yes. Very much so. And I'm short, but it still was way high. 7 plays and 76 yards, capping off the touchdown drive with the pass to Miller.
That's the tough thing about it. When you win 6 games, nowadays, in the 1990s, you expect to go to a bowl game.
In this league, also.
Oh, without a doubt.
Paul Hunter, one of the players, gassed. There is nothing left in the tank after you play in this game. The freshman Morris, the walk-on, is going to the air. Deep, 1 receiver out into 5 defensive backs. Grant Hurd incomplete. If you can see the field right now, there are 8 Mississippi State players on the other side of midfield, and Hurd is the lone Rev back there.
Mike, this is, again, respect for Joe Lee Dunn when you call plays, but you've got to get more than 1 receiver out now in this football game, behind by 15, but they're protected because they don't want David Morris to get sacked inside his 20.
Old school. No need, no headset, no charts. I see it, I call it. Joe Lee Dunn, defensive coordinator. Can't stop McAllister here as he gets across the 30 into the 33-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for McAllister, who is now at 149 yards in 30 carries.
We talk about McKinley, the fullback for the Bulldogs. Charles Stackhouse, number 45 of Ole Miss, the Rebels, with a great block to Spring Deuce McAllister. Here he is right here, going to lead the play. Stackhouse with a nice block to open it up.
Took Robert Bean out of there. They run McAllister inside across the 35 and to the 37. Hilliard in on the tackle for Dunn's defense. You see the SEC so much with you and Ron and Adrian in Saturday Night Primetime, and you've seen so much of Joe Lee Dunn because he's traveled around the SEC. But what he's done is a great job with this Mississippi State defense.
Had a house in every city in the SEC. Been all around. But respect for Joe Lee Dunn. All coaches don't want to face him because he blitzes from the time you get to the stadium. And he shows you a lot of different looks. And this game is important to him.
He was the interim coach for 1 year here at Ole Miss after the Billy Brewer era and was not retained when the Tuberville staff came in. We are through 3 quarters in the Egg Bowl. David Morris had a good drive going, but Bean made the big interception. Mississippi State took it down the field. And a freshman, DeCenzo Miller, scored the touchdown, the only points of the 3rd, and the Bulldogs' lead is 15.
You have to dig deep to find the source of Intrepid's solid feel. Reinforced door openings, strategically placed steel beams, and an isolated suspension cradle all contribute to Intrepid's supple ride. Take away that sturdy foundation and you have, well, nothing. Dodge Intrepid. We're changing everything. Again. Well equipped. $20,495.
One morning out of the year, but it's made of moments that make memories for life. It's about getting caught up in the moment and wondering what the memories will turn out to be.
Hello? Merry Christmas, honey.
It's why there's the word joy.
Take a look outside, Dad.
And why at Radio Shack we'll just bet you can make someone special, well, jump for joy.
I think he likes it. Good dreaming. Oh, we got a computer. Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, look at that sound system. You guys like it?
It's Christmas morning. And this year, you can make it, in a word, merry. In other words, Bet you can make them smile. And that's the best gift of all. Radio Shack.
Will she say, I love it? You shouldn't have. It's just what I wanted. Or will she say, nothing at all? The Diamond Solitaire Necklace. This Christmas goes straight for the heart.
A diamond is forever. De Beers.
Now the fourth quarter of the 71st battle for the Golden Egg. Mike Tirico, Mike Godfrey, Dr. Jerry Punch. The Egg Bowl could send the Dogs to Atlanta in the SEC title game. They're 15 minutes away. On 2nd and 5, the workhorse McAllister looks for space. It will be 3rd and about 3. The collisions remain violent.
Edward Smith complaining about being held on that play. Number 2 went right to the official, felt like he was being held. Again, a nice job setting his blockers up by the tailback Deuce McAllister.
McAllister has 155 of the 227 Ole Miss yards. They need 3 out of somebody here. They try the Deuce. Powering forward, he will be very close to the first down. As they check it out, we'll take a moment to look at the numbers after 3 and that passing yard stat. Inability by Ole Miss, Mississippi State with a couple of big pass plays that's tilted the balance in the last few series.
56 yards and the 1 turnover. Robert Bean interception when they drove down the field, had a chance to score.
Well, here we go. They're going to go for it just a few inches short. Ole Miss down 21-6. McAllister falling forward. It will depend on the spot. He ran into some of the legs of his offensive lineman.
I don't think he made it, Mike.
Neither does Tim Nelson, 17 from Mississippi State.
Offensive line didn't get any push here. You see Mississippi State, so much penetration. I think he's short.
They had to get to the 42.5. The spot. He's short. He is short, and the Dogs defense gets it done. Mississippi State ball in great field position. Change of possession, Mississippi State ball at the Ole Miss 42, looking to add to a 15-point lead. Thinking about a pass back to the quarterback, Matthews, who got hit, and it is incomplete. The pass was thrown by Chris Rainey, and Timothy Strickland was not fooled. Jackie Sherrill going for the knockout punch.
Mike, Matt Butler was open on that play. Decided to throw to the wrong receiver.
Rainey was thinking about another pass completion. He threw a 32-yarder earlier this season.
He had Matt Butler for 6 and just decided to go away from him.
Back to the ground, and Armiga Spearman makes the tackle after 3.
Mike, watch the free safety here in the corner. When Chris Rainey gets the football, Matt Butler releases. Here's the corner. Safety short, the corner's up, and all of a sudden, Matt Butler just runs by everybody, and he's really the logical receiver on that play. But Chris Rainey decided to go back to his quarterback and almost got him killed. Ooh.
And a half second later with the throw, it could have been taken back the other way. Pretty big play here. If Ole Miss wants to hang around. 3rd and 9. For Love, incomplete. Looking for Kelvin on the sideline. It will be 4th down.
We had him. Wayne Matkin had Kelvin Love, but just didn't get the football to him.
They'll punt.
Jeff Walker, who's done a nice job tonight, comes in to try to seal Ole Miss again inside the 20-yard line.
7th nationally last year. Beautiful. Nice high kick. They're caught by Peterson at the 16-yard line. Drive start from there. We will step out with the Rebs down 15.
Want to take your taste for great fast food in a different direction?
You ought to drive into Sonic,
where you can add chili to just about anything, from chili cheeseburgers to chili cheese fries. Or right now, get our Coney and Tots special, an extra long cheese coney topped with chili and tangy cheddar cheese, plus a side of crispy tater tots for a special low price at Sonic, where the spice of life is right at your fingertips.
Hi, welcome to Sonic.
Drive in for a change this month and get our cheddar peppers for just 99 cents.
Oh, great one. How much time do I have left?
You have 15 minutes.
15 minutes? 15?
Maybe 20?
What? I can't take a bath in 20 minutes. What are you talking about?
Oh, times on tapes.
There is a better way to see how much time's left on your tapes. Sony Smart File. With one wave, it automatically tells you what's on your tapes. Plus, it fast-forwards to exact spots.
I'm getting another call. They just said 40 minutes for you. This is your lucky day, mister.
Sony Smart File VCRs. Now you know.
ESPN's presentation of Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Heineken. Brewed true since 1886. Heineken.
Mississippi State leading the Rebels. Happy Thanksgiving. Ron Franklin, one of the great alums.
Hall of Fame here, in the Hall of Fame this year.
That's right. Congrats. This year? Is that right?
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Yes. Home in Austin, Texas, or on his way to Roanoke, Virginia. I'm not sure, but happy Thanksgiving to him and his wife, Bonnie.
Absolutely. Ron, one of the great alums of this school. Ole Miss trying to get something going offensively. Peterson gets that injured shoulder thrown into the ground by Ashley Cooper. Short game.
That was Ron's cousin with the sign.
Trent Lott, Senate Majority Leader. Also another distinguished Ole Miss alum.
Johnny Vaught here tonight, the great coach.
89 years old. Stadium named after Vaught and the late Judge William Hemingway, who was the chair of the athletic committee in the early days. Here at Ole Miss, McAllister for just a yard. This Mississippi State defense is really playing well here in the second half. Well, come next Saturday, this may end up being the biggest game of the year. We figured it out over pancakes this morning. This game could impact 3 or 4 bowls. UCLA against Miami. Cade McNown, they look to finish the perfect season as the edge. Adrian James looks for another 100-yard effort on the ground. 2 Eastern with Ron, Mike, and Adrian Karsten next Saturday from the legendary Orange Bowl in South Florida.
Right here is where Mississippi State's looking for the interception and try to finish them off.
3rd and 10 for the walk-on quarterback, David Morris. And they do run it here with McAllister. A good effort run by McAllister to the 27. I have no idea why the whistle blew as he was still going. There's a flag behind the play. But McAllister wasn't out of bounds when that whistle blew. It was a very heavy collision. That's why, perhaps, they blew it dead right away. That's Kevin Sluter, the junior right tackle, who they are looking at on the sideline. And he is up on his own.
Holding on the offense during the run. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, third down.
Well, Deuce McAllister's going to show you his effort. He's setting up his blockers, trying to find something. Then he'll make his move up the football field. There's the cut. Good block. Number 88, Grant Hurd, trying to hold off and trying to stretch that ball forward for the first down.
The whistle must have been inadvertent, because the whistle definitely did blow while McAllister was still running. Some confusion here for Ole Miss. They've got two receivers out in formation. The rest of the team still in the huddle.
And 11 on the clock.
People running in and out as well. Morris in trouble. Avoids the safety and goes down with a loss of 6.
Mike, just a tough situation to be in for David Morris. You're up against this guy, Joe Lee Dunn, who's going to blitz you, and here he comes with his blitz. Cornell Menifee almost had a safety. You see the pressure by the Bulldog defense. But only 4 days to prepare your backup quarterback, a walk-on freshman, for this tough assignment.
Reagan King will punt from the shadow of his own goalpost. Kevin Prentice from the 42 made the nice first move, and Kevin Prentice explodes to the 22, but there goes a flag as Chad Cook made the stop. The great field position might just end up being good field position.
Yeah, that's what a penalty will do. I believe it's going to be on Eugene Clinton, number 14.
Backup DB for Mississippi State. Jackie Sherrill. Another bowl opportunity for his team for sure, and they're still alive for one of the big money bowls. One of the 4 BCS games.
Never felt like this until I kissed you, I kissed you, I kissed you, I kissed you. How did I exist until I kissed you, I kissed you, I kissed you. Never had you on my mind.
When you find the one that's unlike any other, that's when it's love. That's when it's Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
Hey, are you one of those guys who doesn't mind spending $30 on a baseball hat with a revolving red light on it, but you get all upset when you look at the phone bill? Well, I can't help you with the hat, but the phone bill, aha, 10-10-220. You dial 10-10-220 and you pay only 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes. After that, it's only 10 cents a minute. And there's no catch, no fees, no contracts. Nobody's trying to trick you. 10-10-220. Save a little money. Use it to buy batteries for the hat.
Welcome to FedEx. This is Judy Price. I'd be glad to help you track your package. Right now it's safe, it's sound, and it's on its way to Boston. Another package? The weather's a little iffy in London, but it should arrive on schedule. Yeah, 6 packages. How long should on that call? An hour and 15 minutes. It'll be at FedEx Roosevelt Road first thing in the morning. Another package?
Same call.
She's going for a record. No delays in Cedar Rapids. Is that it, sir?
Happy holiday.
You have a nice holiday, too.
We should have thought of this years ago.
Got an important package? Send it FedEx and be absolutely sure.
Hokies and Cavaliers, a season-ending, bitter backyard rivalry for bragging rights.
College game day at 11. Virginia versus Virginia Tech at noon, Saturday on ESPN.
And we welcome you back to Vaught-Hemingway Stadium on a very chilly Thanksgiving night here in Oxford, Mississippi. An update here from the Mississippi State sidelines. Kevin Sluter, their junior left defensive tackle, will be taken for x-rays of an injured right ankle. They're going to put an air cast on him right now in just a moment. And Rusty Lett, the orthopedic surgeon, talking with him. We'll take him in for x-rays. We'll update you as soon as we know. Mike?
All right, Jerry, thank you. Rod Gibson, the junior out of Greenwood, Mississippi, gets his 9th carry of the year. When you start thinking for Mississippi State beyond this game and their hopes of taking a shot at Tennessee, who, if they beat Vanderbilt, which is expected Saturday in Music City, would be undefeated 11-0 Tennessee. And would Jackie Sherrill's team be the one to get in the way of a potential Vols appearance in the Fiesta Bowl? 2nd and 7 and nothing for DeCenzo Miller. Touchdown maker earlier, pulled down by Kendrick Clancy. Mississippi State was not picked in the top couple in the SEC West. As a matter of fact, now the season's almost done. If you flip this deal top to bottom, you wouldn't be surprised to say, well, Auburn, LSU, Alabama right up near the top. Instead, Mississippi State and Arkansas have had the big years here in the West. With this victory, Mississippi State would clinch the conference title. If Ole Miss made a miraculous comeback, Arkansas would still have a chance if they beat LSU tomorrow. But that hope is a fleeting one at this point. And Mackin feels the need to take a timeout. 3rd and 9 ahead. Burns his first one of this second half. And we'll step aside with 8:39 to go.
Now there's a revolutionary tool.
This might be a good time to talk about the Michelin X1. Thanks to Michelin technology, it gives you long mileage and better wet braking than any rain tire. And that should make everyone on a wet road happy.
Hi, this is Bert Brooks, and I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to come down to Bert Brooks Tire for the best tire service and prices in Rome, 314 East 2nd Avenue.
The North Star System. Performance and technology that set Cadillac apart from every other luxury car in the world. Now experience the difference during the Cadillac Performance Drive with the 1999 DeVille, the world's only full-size luxury car with the power and agility of the North Star System. Now just $499 a month. A powerful way to set yourself apart during the Cadillac Performance Drive. See your Cadillac dealer today.
You have that perfect show. Bob Lee had one back in '89. Steiner had his in '91. Dan had one working last season. It got crazy out there. During the commercial breaks, the crew, they wouldn't talk to him. Kenny wouldn't even look at him. It was intense.
And that, of course, is the sort of thing that can't never happen in a playoff race.
What did he just say?
That's a double negative. At the end, he just let it get away from him.
This is meeting 65 with these two teams as SEC members, and the 8th time it's had Southeastern Conference title implications. Mississippi State leads by 15. Matkey did a nice job avoiding the rush. Now fires for Prentice, intercepted. Kenny Woods will try to make something happen. And he's down at the 32-yard line, but Mississippi State turns it over for the first time tonight.
Mike, too long by Wayne Matkin to wait to throw that ball. A late decision. Kenny Woods was just sitting playing center field on the interception. Now 8:25. Now Ole Miss has to get something going on offense. Ball too long in the air. Kevin Prentice, the intended receiver, but a nice interception by the 6'2" Kenny Woods.
First of the year for the junior, and Jackie Sherrill in conversation with his quarterback. Will walk on true freshman Morris. There's Lucas French, the first-team All-America to the 39, but a marker's down at the line of scrimmage. When you have an inexperienced quarterback, is it tougher to get into the tight end because all the bodies are so close? Because I always think of tight end as, that's my safety guy.
No, I think curl routes, option routes, crossing routes, which he just ran right there. But I think the decision was made early to heavy protect and use the tight end in protection. Rufus French, the All-American tight end, recruited by Notre Dame, Florida State. When he decided to go to Ole Miss, they said, Tommy Tuberville says, the biggest thing since Archie Manning.
Well, there are the parents of the quarterback. Mom, son told us, was going to be more nervous than he was going into the game.
They have to be proud of their son. He's played very, very well in this ball game.
Only scholarship offer was to a Division II school. Morris fires over the middle. The L.J. Taylor takes it into Bulldog territory inside of 8 minutes.
Mike only down 15 points now. They're still alive in this ball game with 7:54 if they can get something hot here. L.J. Taylor just over the middle, quick pass, nice release by David Morris. Up the field, Eric Daniel finally making a tackle. Plenty of time.
If you're not a Mississippi State or an Ole Miss fan, I can understand you guys thinking maybe it's time to turn. Weird things have happened in this series. McAllister is just leveled by Ashley Cooper, stopping for a moment whatever momentum Ole Miss had going.
Ashley Cooper, the quickest of the defensive ends off the corner. Excellent athlete, Mike. 39-inch vertical jump. Linebacker with great speed out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. They're going to split Rufus French out now, flex him out a little bit. See if David Morris tries to get the ball again to Rufus.
From midfield, blitz. Tries to get Peterson underneath. French was sent to the deck after he got rid of the ball. Menifee and Cooper had a little meeting at Mr. Morris.
Yeah, they both had a straight line shot at David Morris. Rufus French, number 9, working up the football field. Corey Peterson underneath his route, open, just under pressure. David Morris couldn't get the football to him.
They split French to the right and actually in the slot with Peterson outside of him, and now they move some people in because Morris says Joe Lee is sending them. Give me help, boys. Here they come. Up for grabs and intercepted by Eric Daniel, and it is an interception as he lost control after he hit the ground. Second interception for the senior Daniel.
Mike, Tim Nelson was the reason that Eric Daniel picked this football off. Again, Joe Lee Dunn with the blitz by number 17, Tim Nelson coming from the side. No one blocks him. Gets into David Morris's body. Couldn't get anything on the football. Here's the interception by Eric Daniel.
Correct call. He took a step after making the catch. Taking it away, really. Had possession, and the ground caused the fumble, so Bulldogs take over with 6:44 remaining. Fraser, his 20th carry of the year. He gains about 3, and here's Doc.
Guys, when Wayne Matkin took over the Mississippi State offense in the 4th game of the year, Jackie Sherrill wasn't concerned about his running game or his passing game. He was concerned about his voice. He said that he had this real high-pitched voice and get in the huddle and say, "All right, 37." And he had one of those Peter Pan kind of voices. They sent him to see a Dr. Flick, a communications expert at the campus of Mississippi State, teaching him to use his diaphragm so he didn't sound like Cinderella in the huddle. And whenever he did, it apparently worked.
Breather to the 38. Very good, Jerry.
Doc's working on the side of the ventriloquist.
Some of the helium from the Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York, Doc smuggled some down for voice work. Well, Matkin's done a nice job. You know, he emailed T. Martin back and forth during the year. Did not receive an email from the Tennessee quarterback this week, and I doubt they're going to be emailing back and forth via the internet this week.
No.
3rd and 4. So option with Fraser. Pig gets the first down to the 44. We got Deuce, we got Pig, the Egg Bowl, Turkey Day.
You and Doc have gone off here in the last 5 minutes.
See what your presence has done to us once again? Edward is his given name, but he says, you call me Pig.
There was a player for Auburn a couple years ago, Robert Goff. He was called Pig and played for the Saints for a while.
Well, Pig and company are making it a sad Thanksgiving night for the fans of the Hogs, the Arkansas fans. Fraser taken down by Thigpen at the 47. Well, how the SEC West was won will come down to a couple of plays. Clint Sterner, who had played a great first half against Tennessee, just losing his balance, the natural athletic reaction. He slips, goes down, loses the ball. Tennessee scores the winning touchdown to beat Arkansas, 28-24. And then last week, one of the 5 Hazelwood field goals, this one just sneaking inside the upright. And Mississippi State beat the Hogs 22-21. And that's how Mississippi State, plus this game, will tell the story of winning the West in the SEC in 1998. Prather for a yard or so. They were in this situation last year. Win and win and win the West, and they didn't do it. And this year they're going to do it.
Yeah, and like that sign said, not so fast, I'm bringing on Tennessee. That's a pretty good football team. Mississippi State will have to get ready to play next week in Atlanta.
Jackie Sherrill is 8 years here. Certainly improved the SEC standing of the Bulldogs. Their fans will have a happy 101-mile drive through Matheson and Eupora and Calhoun City and Bruce back to Starkville tonight. Atkins' pass is incomplete on 3rd down. He was looking for Matt Butler, the junior. Well, Mike, we raised the possibility earlier. If Mississippi State is able to shock Tennessee in the title game, you could find Mississippi State, you would find Mississippi State in one of the 4 BCS bowls, because the winner of the SEC title game goes. There's no choice in selection deal there.
Where do they go if they don't win the game? Cotton Bowl?
It's interesting because the high-profile teams in the SEC are over there in the East. If you're the West champion, it would be a shame to fall to the 5th or 6th selection, but you can understand a bowl. How can you be a bowl director and say, ooh, we'll pass on Florida, we'll pass on Georgia? That's very hard to do.
Yeah, they won the West. They should go to the Cotton Bowl. When you look at Ole Miss now, Mike, as they close out this ball game, there's only 5 seniors on this football team. And what they've accomplished in the last 4 years, winning seasons 3 or 4 years, the Motor City Bowl, and they endured 4 years of probation. So this is a senior group led by Matt Luke, the center, that outstanding careers here.
Morris out of the gun with 4 receivers from the 11. Shows some poise getting out of the pocket and to the 20. Dr. Jerry Punch?
You guys mentioned Ole Miss suffered through 2 years of sanctions, which cost them 24 scholarships and 4 years of probation. Now, a normal Division I program has 85 kids on scholarship. Take a look at the years for Tuberville. 65, 60. They had 55 Division I scholarships last year and won 8 games and went to a bowl. They have 70 this year. 3 out of 4 years winning seasons with that few Division I kids on scholarship. Remarkable job by Tommy Tuberville.
And the 70 is not the number that they have at their disposal now, as French, the All-America tight end, catches one to the 24 because of injuries. About a half dozen injuries to some of those scholarship players. They're in the low 60s in terms of players they can use in the game. So it's been very tough on Tommy Tuberville, and as we talked about at the top of the show, many people around here feel that this could be it for Tommy Tuberville at Ole Miss. The Auburn job situation having been addressed in so many newspaper reports. Birmingham Post-Herald today talking about how Tuberville will be in Auburn, Alabama tomorrow. That's an interception on the sideline by Tim Nelson. Touchdown! Nelson took the deflection, stayed in bounds, and the Dogs are going to the Dome. Larson's pass is intercepted. And return for touchdown. It will officially be a 30-yard touchdown for the junior out of North Atlanta, Georgia. He's going back home next week. Hazelwood on for the extra point. And he adds it. Well, Nelson had 1 interception last year. In came against Kentucky in the second week of the season. On the deflection with Hurd virtually out of bounds. Nelson able to keep it in play, and Jackie Sherrill says that away 17 to the end zone. Next stop, SEC title game.
There's one place where 99 is already in full swing. At your Buick dealer. It's Buick Swing Into 99. And November 27th through the 30th, the numbers are swinging even lower. Way down with 0.99% APR financing on every 99 Buick. Save an average of $2,800. Hurry, 4 days only. So don't miss a beat. Swing into your Buick dealer today.
I'm not everyone. I'm me. So when I decided to quit smoking, I did not choose that one-size-fits-all patch. I chose Nicorette gum. Nicorette has this flexible dosing schedule that helped me control my cravings. It let me use the strength I needed, the amount I needed, when I needed it. Nicorette was personal. It fit me. You know, me the non-smoker. Me.
Nicorette gum helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Well, the Bulldogs fans have enjoyed their Thanksgiving dessert. 28-6 lead. Jeff Walker set to kick off.
He's been valuable, Mike, Jeff Walker. Punting and kicking off.
A reminder, SportsCenter is coming up just moments away from now. Rich Eisen and Steve Levy working this holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. The controversy of the coin flip in the Steelers-Lions. Randy Moss, who did a great job against Ole Miss in the Motor City Bowl last year, had a bust-out game against the Cowboys. And Dickie V going to talk diaper dandies, get you in the mood for Duke Notre Dame right after SportsCenter. Ole Miss back on the field with David Morris. They'll run Tony Kenyon on first down. And the senior from Florida gets out close to the 30.
Mike, the other question, of course, with Tommy Tuberville leaving and taking the coaching staff, if that becomes true, which it's true, the fact of the bowl game being affected, does Rufus French come out? And I hope he stays in. He is one of the best tight ends in the country, and we talked to him about the other day. He said he's just going to pray about it and let that make his decision.
Incomplete pass, here, stop.
Well, take a look at some of the Mississippi High School All-Americans that have come in this program in the past few years. You talk about Rufus French, coach. He was the first one. He really started the recruiting boom here for Ole Miss, even though they were down on scholarship. Armiga Spearman is 95, Miller and Metcalf in 96, and Eddie Strong, the true freshman in this year in 1997. They have done a pretty good job. Every single one of those high school All-Americans here in the state of Mississippi. So they've won the recruiting battle in state. They're just down on numbers.
First down carry for McAllister. He continues his huge numbers. He's over 160 yards for the night on 38 carries. He had 162. And Tommy Tuberville has really brought in some great guys because he's a great guy.
Yeah, he has an excellent staff, and they've worked very hard here in the recruiting battle. Never felt it.
Little smile. Come on, Coach.
Lighten up.
Coach is ready to write down the numbers of those kids.
He's writing down his restaurant he's going to go to tonight.
There is the sack, and Tommy Tuberville can only look on and watch. There it is, unsuspecting, and nailed by Kelvin Love and Matt Butler. Second and long coming up. Well, Tuberville's reign at Ole Miss will end in a loss in this rivalry. It will end with the only time he's lost 3 consecutive games as Ole Miss head coach. The losses were tough at Arkansas. There's the confusion there as Miller was trying to get a play clock timeout. Lost at Georgia by 7 with a couple of opportunities real close and just not the big enough, physical enough team to punch it in from a yard out. And this game with impossible circumstances, walk-on true freshman quarterback, and they weren't deep at that spot because of those recruiting numbers Doc showed us.
No, and I'm going back to David Morris. There's nothing to be ashamed of tonight. He's played very well. But Romaro Miller out in the last play of the Georgia game, and you come into your rival football game with the quarterback hurt, took all the snaps all year. Just a very difficult situation to be put in offensively.
Morris throws one up. Incomplete. Well, if he's going to Auburn, and there's been so much talk about the Auburn situation, Tiger fans, the people who support Auburn football, here's your opportunity to get a good guy and have a chance to treat him right and hold on to him. He's walking into a very difficult situation, but he's taken a difficult situation here and made it wonderful.
I think both those teams, when you look at Auburn has a lot of material coming back next year. Ole Miss, only 5 seniors.
McAllister after his excellent night. And who knows what might happen with Tuberville. Because last year he was so close to the Arkansas thing and chose not to let that situation be a change of coaching places. You never know in coaching. We've seen so many times in coaching deals, it comes down to the last minute and boom, something changes. But this one, you would be led to believe, looks like it's going to happen.
Mark it down.
4th and 18, here comes the last play. For Marsh, he'll run it with McAllister. Which means he's not getting the kid beat up anymore. And the tackle is made. Romaro Miller worked so hard this year. This was the game he wanted to play in. Shannon, Mississippi native. Every night when he roomed with David Morris, who played quarterback tonight, they talked about the Mississippi State game. This is the game he couldn't wait for. But the shoulder injury meant Morris had to be thrown into the fire. Handled himself quite well. Thanks to McAllister, who ran for 177 yards on 40 carries. Double what he normally tries.
And Romaro told us how much he really missed the opportunity to play in this football game. Hurt him a lot.
The police are on the field to the left guarding the goalpost as Mississippi State takes a knee. And for the 5th consecutive year, the Egg Bowl, the Golden Egg Trophy, will be taken home by the road team. James Johnson has trophy in hand as Tommy Tuberville perhaps ends his Ole Miss coaching tenure. The big screen told the story of a night of long odds for Ole Miss.
Hey, that's Chichi Rodriguez.
I think my energy band improves my golf game.
Now you too can have the Chichi Rodriguez Energy Band. It combines the power of copper with the harmonizing power of magnetics.
He really looks good, too.
The